as the Mountaineers look to become the first team in school history to win 10 regular season games. Stay tuned as West Virginia meets the Rutgers Scarlet Knights on the Mountaineers Sports Network.
Today's game is brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. Key Centurion Bank Shares, building our communities together. Walker Machinery, your Caterpillar dealer. Your Mountaineer Chrysler Plymouth dealers. The competition knows it's the team to beat. U.S. Air, with flights to over 100 cities in North America. At U.S. Air, we welcome all of our passengers, one at a time.
It is an absolutely beautiful day for football at Giant Stadium. And this afternoon, the West Virginia Mountaineers look to bring their record up to 10-0 for the first time in school history as they take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Hello again, everyone. I'm Tony Caridi, joined by John Garcia. Arguably, this is the most important game of the season for West Virginia. A victory here today can almost lock down a bid to the Fiesta Bowl, West Virginia's first major bowl bid since 1953. The opponent, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They come in with a record of 4-5, and John Garcia, they've lost 3 in a row after some big wins over Michigan State and Penn State. What's happened to this club?
Well, lack of quality depth has certainly been a problem. You know, it's kind of like back in 1984 with the Mountaineers. When their starter was injured, they didn't have somebody to come in and do a good job for them. Secondly, enthusiasm has been a big problem. They lost 3 in a row, and it's bound to affect their confidence level. On the positive side of the ledger, they have quarterback Scott Ernie, and this kid can be a big timer when he's on his game. If he has a hot hand, it should be a definite show for the Mountaineer fans.
Should be an interesting game. Add to that the fact of a lack of depth that John had mentioned. 3 Rutgers starters on defense will not play today because of injuries. Stay tuned. West Virginia against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights coming up on the Mountaineers Sports Network.
Key Centurion presents the WVU Marching Band in concert, capping off WVU Day in Charleston. Monday, November 28th, 7:30 p.m. at the Charleston Civic Center. Tuesday, November 29th, 8:15 p.m. at the WVU Creative Arts Center. Hear the pride of West Virginia from Key Centurion Bank Shares, building our communities together.
The crowd continues to file in here at Giant Stadium. An absolutely beautiful day. As you can see, sunshine blanketing the Meadowlands area of New Jersey. West Virginia has lost the opening toss. Rutgers winning it and has taken the option to handle the first kickoff of the ball game they will receive. The series history goes back all the way to 1916. The teams have played every year since 1980, and West Virginia has really dominated in the series, winning 7 of the 8 games. A year ago, West Virginia handled Rutgers without too much problem, a final score of 35-17. And Major Harris in that game, John Garcia, had a tremendous afternoon with 304 yards of total offense. Mountaineers piling it up, 293 yards on the ground on the average this season. Charlie Bauman all set to go to work, back deep to return. Eric Young for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. He's a dangerous one, and he'll take the opening kick. This is Young from the 12-yard line. Met there and put down by Darren Fulton. And the Rutgers Scarlet Knights will take over. They'll spot the ball on the 25-yard line. First down and 10. As you take a look there at number 22, Eric Young, a great kickoff man. In fact, he holds the career record for kickoff return yardage here at Rutgers, but also a dominant receiver for this Rutgers team. He'll line up as a split end. Comes into the ball game with 41 receptions, the team's leading receiver. And Rutgers loves to pass the ball. Scott Ernie has 295 attempts on the season. First down and 10. And Eric Young will go to the air. Man is back, McQueen, and he cannot come up with the play. Willie Edwards backtracking on the coverage as Rutgers starts off the ball game with some trickery. Willie Edwards at first bit on the run, but then he started moving downfield there, John Garcia, step for step with Tyrone McQueen, number 5, and McQueen had that ball go right off of his chest.
Dick Anderson pulling out all stops here, Tony, on the flanker reverse pass. Eric Young showing that he has the ability to throw the ball. West Virginia, Willie Edwards bites a little bit on the run fake, but recovers well. A good throw by Eric Young.
2nd down and 10. That's James Cann in motion. And the ball carrier is Mike Body. Chris Herring makes the tackle after a couple-yard pickup for Mike Body.
Chris Herring just did an outstanding job on that play, Tony, keeping that ball in contained and scraping right off the outside tackle hole there, keeping Body from getting outside.
Pickup of 2. It'll be 3rd down and 8. So an obvious passing situation for Rutgers.
Chris having just an outstanding year. He's the leading tackler by a total of 33 tackles. This guy's all over the football field.
Scarlet Knights send out 3 receivers to the right. 3rd down and 8. Ernie with his first pass attempt of the afternoon. Has his man. It's intercepted by Darrell Whitmore. The redshirted freshman from Front Royal, Virginia, is in for the touchdown. The intended receiver, Brett Mersola, number 81. The ball deflected into that man's arms. Number 11, Darrell Whitmore, his 4th interception of the season, his first touchdown as a West Virginia Mountaineers. 1 minute and 4 seconds have gone by, and Darrell Whitmore puts West Virginia on the scoreboard.
West Virginia in a man coverage that time. Rutgers in trips. 3 receivers to one side. Great defensive play. Brett Mersola is still on the ground. A super hit by Tyrone Ellis.
Number 66 for West Virginia, Ellis, came from behind, hitting Mersola. He's a senior out of Burbank, California. The ball deflected right into the arms of Darrell Whitmore.
You know, Tony, you and I talked to Darrell this morning in the lobby, and I said, man, this guy is a big stud.
He's got All-American written all over him. As we mentioned, he's still young, but in the years to come, Darrell Whitmore will be one of the better free safeties in the nation.
Watch the great hit by Tyrone Ellis. Just unloads on this guy. Darrell Whitmore around the football, and that's a great sign of a great free safety. Be around the football, and shows his athletic ability there, just putting a super move on Scott Ernie.
Darrell Whitmore came in starting at free safety for West Virginia, and there has not been a problem with his play all season long. You would think, Gar, that through the course of a season it would have to become learning and learning and learning, but he has become quite comfortable with the West Virginia defense. Dick Anderson's club trailing it 6-0. Add to that the fact that his 3rd leading receiver, Brett Mersola, is still on the ground and in pain. Don Nealon will use the extra time to talk things over with his kick team.
You talk about starting the tempo out of a football game. I mean, a big hit and an interception on one play.
Head coach Don Nealon has had great success against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, and speaking of success, he's had it all season long as his club comes into this game with a 9-0 record.
I think this defense is going to be fired up all day, Tony, with the allegations that number 32, James Cann, made in the newspaper yesterday about the West Virginia defense, saying that they're no better than Army. I mean, these kids are competitors. They had that Xerox copy distributed throughout the defense yesterday, and they're going to be after Rutgers today.
As you see there with the interception by Whitmore, the Mountaineers now have 17 on the season and are in reach of the team record of 24. There's Bob Shaw in the yellow jacket down there talking with his defense. The Mountaineer defense yet to get onto the field here today. Brett Mersola now being walked off the field. Has one arm underneath him from one of the training people, but he seems to be okay. Took a hard shot there from Tyrone Ellis. Charlie Bauman going after his 49th extra point of the season. He's 48 out of 50. Senior from Erie, Pennsylvania, looking to give West Virginia a 7-0 lead. And it is perfect. The Mountaineers lead it 7-0 with 13 minutes and 56 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play.
This is a big year for West Virginia, and it's an even bigger year for your Mountaineer Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
See the '89 Plymouth Sundance. Sundance handles and performs like a hero. And with 47 standard features, it's one of the best values in its class. And check out Plymouth Horizon America with the biggest standard engine and longest powertrain warranty in its class. plus $300 cash back.
This year's team puts it all together. See your Mountaineer Chrysler Plymouth dealer now.
Gail Catlett with a few words on performance.
How do I know so much about Caterpillar equipment from Walker Machinery? Well, I put a few hours on one. On my farm, I do a lot of work that might stop anything else. But there's nothing that cat loader can't do. So if you're ever in Hedgesville, stop by my farm. Just look for the flattest piece of land around.
Walker Machinery, your Caterpillar dealer.
Well, Charlie Bauman will kick it off for the second time this afternoon. The Mountaineers capitalizing on Rutgers' first possession as Darrell Whitmore returns the ball off an interception for a touchdown, and Bauman ready to put it back into play.
That really took the wind out of Rutgers' sails, that one play, Tony.
Eric Young back deep to return along with Allen of Rutgers, and he'll start it off from the 7-yard line. Big hole. Here he comes. He'll go all the way for a touchdown. An incredible start to this football game. Ron Allen goes coast to coast on a 92-yard touchdown run, and Rutgers answers right back.
Obviously, they filled their sails back up a wind on that one play again. West Virginia special teams breaking down a little bit.
Mountaineers have had problems with kickoff returns all season long, but that's the first time they've given one up for a touchdown. You'll remember, John, back in the East Carolina game, they gave up a 60-yard plus return to the Pirates' Junior Robinson, and they had problems in the second game of the season against Cal State Fullerton.
Notice what happened, Tony, when this defensive coverage is coming down, one player goes to the left, the other player goes to the right, and a big seam just creates.
Extra point good by Carmen Sclafani, and we're tied up at 7-all with 13 minutes and 43 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play. So an interesting contest here, John Garcia, as both clubs score early. This copyrighted broadcast authorized under broadcasting rights granted by West Virginia University through its Mountaineer Sports Network solely for the entertainment of our viewing audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description and accounts of this game without the express written permission of the Mountaineer Sports Network is prohibited. The announcers on this broadcast employed by the Mountaineer Sports Network and references to products made by the announcers are paid commercial messages.
Tony, a total of 5 plays and 2 touchdowns. How much more excitement can you have?
Well, as far as Don Nealon's concerned, he doesn't want any more excitement. There's already 14 points on the board, and Major Harris hasn't even stepped on the field yet. An interception for a touchdown and a kickoff return for a touchdown as Rutgers and West Virginia tie it up once again.
That tells you how important the role of special teams is in college football. Here, West Virginia comes out with great defense, puts 7 points on the board. We have a special teams breakdown. Rutgers is right back in this thing.
Carmen Sclafani will kick it off for Rutgers. Eugene Napoleon is back deep. There's a look at Sclafani. Walked on this Rutgers program and has now taken over their kickoff duties and their field goal kicking. Well, let's see here, John. 5 plays, 2 scores. What could happen here? It will be Eugene Napoleon. Bobbles it up, and now Lamont takes over. Jamie Lamont, success up the middle, brings it up to the 29-yard line as a penalty marker falls on the play. Rich Humphreys making the stop there on Jamie Lamont. So a miscue on the kickoff between Eugene Napoleon and Lamont. They spot the ball on the 29, and now the penalty. West Virginia will march back on the holding call. That'll be a 10-yard penalty on the play as they'll spot it back at the 19. So Major Harris and the West Virginia Mountaineers will take over. West Virginia's offense averaging 45 points a game this season, racking up yards, 495 yards of total offense per game. That's good for 6th in the nation. Linus Bell and Calvin Phillips lining up as receivers on 1st down and 10. That's Phillips in motion. A.B. Brown has the first carry of the afternoon for the Mountaineers. Pickup of 4 on the play as Doug Kokowski, the inside linebacker, made the initial hit.
Kokowski did a real nice job that time, Tony, flowing to the football. He's a converted middle guard, and he missed the entire 1987 season with a knee injury. He's a big guy in that middle linebacker slot.
Major Harris had 304 yards of total offense against the Scarlet Knights a year ago. A.B. Brown up ahead to the 28-yard line. That'll bring up 3rd down and short. Homecoming day here for Anthony Brown. He's a native of Salem, New Jersey, one of 14 West Virginia players from the state of New Jersey. As we get a good look there at A.B. Brown, comes into the game with 699 yards of offense this season for the Mountaineers.
With his population base in the state of New Jersey, there's an awful lot of major college football players that come out of here.
3rd down and 1. And again, it's A.B. Brown. 1st down, West Virginia. Brown brings it over the 30-yard line.
Anthony Brown
carries. Making the stop for Rutgers.
A real nice job by the West Virginia offensive line. We're just playing power football. Toss sweep into the boundary and get after him.
Reggie Rember comes out of the game for West Virginia. Grannis Bell lines up as a receiver out to the left. Jamie Lamont to the right. Now Lamont in motion. And Major looking for his first pass attempt of the afternoon, and they've got him. George Bankos, the defensive tackle, number 71, coming over to sack Major Harris. Good penetration there by the Rutgers front line. Steve Tompkins, Carter Giles, and George Bankos, the down linemen of the 3-4 alignment that Rutgers uses.
Bankos, he's the strongest player on the Rutgers team. We're going to see a lot of him in the West Virginia offensive backfield this week.
Loss of 6 yards on the play. 2nd down and 16. And it's Craig Taylor. Taylor over the 30-yard line, up ahead to the 31. Doug Kokowski in on the stop. Picks up 6 on the play. That'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
Craig Taylor missing last week's game with an injury. Aaron Evans came in and did a great job. This week, Aaron Evans is home with a flu, and Craig Taylor's in there.
Mountaineers have had great success this season, John, on 3rd down conversion, hitting over 50%. Harris with plenty of time. Here comes the Major on the run. He's got the 1st down. Harris down to the 48-yard line. West Virginia's second 1st down of the afternoon. Pat Udovich, number 91, the inside linebacker, finally caught up there with Harris, but not before a 17-yard pickup by the Major.
Major just doing an outstanding job. What he does best, sitting in that pocket, and what happens when those defensive linemen decide to go left or right, it creates a big seam. Here, Major Harris sees this seam and takes advantage of it. He's averaging about 4.8 yards a carry.
Showing no ill effects of a bruised hip that kept him out of the final quarter and a half a week ago against Cincinnati. 1st down and 10, and A.B. Brown picks up a couple as he marches it into Rutgers territory. This Rutgers team on defense, John, has been struggling over the last 3 weeks. They have lost their last 3 games to Army, Temple, and to Pittsburgh, and in the process have given up an average of 30 points a game in their last 3 outings.
They've also given up over 400 yards of total offense per game.
2nd down and 7. Major on the option, and a good job there by the Scarlet Knights as George Bankos came over to close it down. Number 71, George Bankos, read the option play very well. The Scarlet Knights have had problems against teams that play option football. They've met up with several of them this season: Syracuse, Vanderbilt, and Army.
The offensive staff coming out with the sprint draw and the toss sweep into the boundary, a little bit of drop back pass Now they throw in the option. Rutgers defense coordinator has to be a little bit leery.
3rd down and 7. Harris looking for Grannis Bell. Bell with the catch. And depending on the spot, West Virginia should have the first down. An 8-yard pickup on the play. That's a first down for the Mountaineers. Ivan Mays coming over to make the stop. So West Virginia now marching on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. This is the first possession of the afternoon for the Mountaineers. Yes, the score is 7-7, but it's the first possession for the Mountaineers. They've picked up 3 first downs. Craig Taylor and A.B. Brown in the backfield for the Mountaineers. And it goes to Craig Taylor. Taylor busting it ahead down to the 36-yard line. Taylor, like A.B. Brown, comes from the state of New Jersey. He's a native of Linden, and actually, Linden is a lot closer than Salem, where Brown comes from. So Craig Taylor's got many a fan and friend here at the Meadowlands this afternoon. 4-yard pickup. That'll bring up 2nd down and 6. Here comes the Major. Beautiful move by Harris as he spins down to the 25. Tim Lester, number 98, finally wraps up the Major. But, John, I think last week's bruised hip did not seem to bother Major Harris at all. He's up, he's flying, and he's running wild early. An 11-yard pickup for Harris. First down for West Virginia.
Major, with his ability to be that drop-back passer, run that option. Let's not be surprised if we see that option freeze play.
Grannis Bell lining up as a receiver out to the right. Calvin Phillips to the near side. And A.B. Brown with the carry. Brown splitting down inside to the 15-yard line. 9-yard pickup on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 1. West Virginia is pounding the ball down on Rutgers. Vaughn McCoy and Tim Lester make the stop here on Anthony Brown, the senior from Salem, New Jersey, who comes into the game with 699 yards of total offense so far this afternoon. 24 yards for Anthony on 6 carries.
West Virginia just lining up and say, okay, boys, here we come. We're going to blow you off the football, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Bell lining up wide out to the left-hand side, and they go to Craig Taylor. A hole for Taylor, and he's met there as he reaches over the 10-yard line. Right cornerback Glenn Miller and the free safety Vaughn McCoy make the stop on Craig Taylor. Craig, as you can see, a tremendous season rushing the ball with 5 yards per carry, but he's doing a tremendous job as well blocking for the likes of Anthony Brown and Andre Johnson.
He really worked on his blocking skills this past spring and had greatly improved them.
Dick Anderson looks on at a defense that is really bending here. On the carry by Taylor, it's a first down and goal situation. Brown with a block from Taylor. Down to the 8-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down and goal from the 8. As again, Vaughn McCoy and Pat Udovich there to make the stop. The Mountaineers have marched this ball on Rutgers on the ground. Harris has thrown just once, and that was an 8-yard completion for a first down to Grannis Bell.
This really puts you in a sticky situation, Tony. It's 2nd down with the ball on the 9-yard line, and you don't have a whole lot of room to work there offensively.
Adrian Moss in at the tight end for the Mountaineers. Rembert comes in motion. On the option, Harris with a hole. Harris right down to the 1-yard line. Vaughn McCoy held back Major Harris, but Major was as close as you can. Look at that spot down there, John, as close as you can be without scoring.
Major did a real good job that time stretching that defense and creating that seam, and then he has the ability to cut that ball up on a 90-degree angle.
Double tight end formation for West Virginia. Rico Tyler lining up as a wingback. Craig Taylor, ball is loose, and Rutgers has recovered. The Mountaineers drive on Rutgers 1 yard away, the ball pops loose, and the Scarlet Knights hold off the Mountaineers. 7-7, we'll be back. Rutgers taking over, first down and 10 from the 1 yard line as West Virginia coughs up the football on their way in for a score. Chris Herring makes the stop on Mike Body. Tremendously interesting game so far for the Mountaineers. Game began with an interception return for a touchdown for West Virginia. Then they gave up a 92-yard touchdown run. We're at 7-7. 5 minutes and 51 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play. West Virginia fumbling on their way in. On second down, they go to Body again, and West Virginia's defense is there. Body breaking away from Theron Ellis. And a tremendous effort brings it ahead to the 6 yard line. Chris Herring finally made the stop on Mike Body.
Mike Body's a good, strong back. He's averaging about 4.8 yards a carry. Theron does an absolutely super job wrapping him up. But this kid's a good, strong back. Wrap him up, grab jersey, hold on to anything, bring him down.
Tremendous sign there, John, that you've got to go for the legs rather than trying to arm tackle. 3rd down and 4. Ernie's in trouble. That'll be an incompletion, and West Virginia will force the Scarlet Knights into a punting situation. Chris Parker in on the pursuit of Scott Ernie, and he almost had him there for the safety, but Ernie smartly got the ball away.
Chris Parker, the big guy, has 5 tackles for a loss this year. Great pressure. Makes Ernie throw the football away. West Virginia defense rising to the occasion again, Tony.
Grannis Bell is back deep, waiting at midfield. Matt O'Connell, number 6, is the punter. And John being so hemmed in, he's not going to have the normal distance coming back on that ball. Bad punt by O'Connell. Bell from the 50. Down to the 46 yard line. So West Virginia's offense will take over inside Rutgers territory. The punt carries 45 yards thanks to a comfortable Rutgers bounce. 7-7, we'll be back. Fans, Mountaineer basketball season is right around the corner. In fact, it will begin on November the 26th. Season tickets for all 14 home games are now on sale as Bradley, Virginia Tech, Temple, and Rhode Island visit the Coliseum this coming winter. Be a part of the Mountaineer team spirit and order your season tickets soon. Call the Mountaineer ticket office for more information. Well, John, you know, one of the goals that the West Virginia defense has each game is to hold off the opposing team's offense and force them on a punt to put the ball on their side of the field, meaning from anywhere in the 50-yard line area in. They have done that every game this season at least twice, and they're doing it right here. The West Virginia defense holding off the Rutgers Scarlet Knights as they begin to drive from their 1 yard line, and now the Mountaineers will take over at the Rutgers 46.
That's right, Tony, and not only that, but the 3 plays and out is the big thing. Get your offense that ball and let them have the time of possession. Don't let your opponent drive the football and use up that clock.
Dick Anderson looks on and apparently concerned as another Rutgers player is injured. Brett Mersola was injured and stayed down for quite some time on the game's opening series, and now another of the Scarlet Knight players is being helped off the field. Rutgers can ill afford any injuries. They come into this game missing 3 of their defensive starters. Mike Pergolizzi is the injured man, number 44. And it was Pergolizzi who came up with the fumble recovery as West Virginia was trying to score inside the Rutgers goal line. The ball popped loose off the hands of Craig Taylor.
You know, Grannis Bell has done a good job catching those punts, and that's really something that's very difficult. Standing back there on an island all by yourself, you're looking up in the air, and here comes those red shirts. And then not only after you catch the football, you have to put a move and a juke and beat one or 2 people. He's done a super job all year.
It's major time once again. The Mountaineers averaging 5 yards per play on their first 15 of the game, but still have not come up with an offensive touchdown. First and 10, they go right back to Craig Taylor. Taylor downed at the 42-yard line. That'll be a 5-yard pickup as Steve Tompkins and Doug Kokowski make the stop.
I think that bodes well for Don Nealon and his staff. I mean, Craig drove that football all the way down that field, fumbled it, and then they turn around and give him that ball on that opening drive again to build his confidence back up. Good job, Don.
Mountaineers have scored over 50 points 4 times this season. In fact, they've done it 3 games in a row. A.B. Brown on second down with a nice block from Craig Taylor. A.B. Brown chased out at the 35-yard line. That's a first down for the Mountaineers. Right cornerback Glenn Miller coming over to make the stop. 7-yard pickup for Anthony Brown. So provided West Virginia can hold on to the football, John, they seem to be able to move it with relative ease.
You know, West Virginia has been struggling defensively against the rush with an average of giving up 241 yards a game and 182 yards passing. So we should be able to put some points on the board today.
Reggie Rembert lining up as a receiver, far out to the right. The tight end Keith Wynn in a slot position. And again, they go to A.B. Brown. Brown with a hole inside the 30-yard line.
A great job that time by Craig Taylor again. I mean, he filled up on that sprint draw and really unloaded. Sunk those hips and really rolled into that block.
5-yard pickup, second down and 5. And Anthony Brown now with 38 yards on 9 carries. Brown with 38 of West Virginia's 96 yards of offense. Harris on the option. Brown picks up a yard or 2 on the play. That toss a little bit behind A.B. Brown. Darren Sellers, the left cornerback, putting the move on A.B. Brown. Brown came into the season saying, I would like to have 1,300 yards. Well, unfortunately, he won't reach that mark, but he could have a shot at a 1,000-yard season. Comes into this game with 699. Third down situation for the Mountaineers. 3rd down and 4. They're 3 of 3 so far on 3rd down. Brown off the block from Craig Taylor, will not have it. The Rutgers defense holds as number 2 Glenn Miller and number 12 Vaughn McCoy make the stop on Anthony Brown, and it's Charlie Bauman time for West Virginia.
The thing that hurt that play that time, Tony, number 79, Doug Kokowski, the middle linebacker, got way up the field and forced A.B. to take a little dip and give up a little bit of ground and couldn't get that extra yard.
Charlie Bauman, 5 of 6 from 40 yards and farther this season. This is a 44-yard attempt by Bauman. It is no good. Off to the left. Charlie Bauman missing from 44 yards away. And we stay at 7-7 with 2 minutes and 49 seconds to go here in the first quarter of action. Well, John, it's the classic bend but not break defense of Rutgers that we're seeing so far. The Mountaineers marching it all the way down to the 1-yard line, failing to score. And on a 3rd down and 4, they hold there. They bent but did not break. Scott Blanche, the tight end, lining up on the right side. And Mike Body, make it James Cann, the ball carrier, and Ronaldo Turnbull is there to make the hit. James Cann, junior out of West Nyack, New York, comes into the ball game with 357 yards. He's the number 2 man in the offensive backfield for Rutgers. Mike Body is the leading ground gainer. James Cann is the number 2 man. And Cann is the guy that made some comments that infuriated the West Virginia defensive players. Cann quoted to say that West Virginia's defense isn't all that impressive. Compared them to the Army defense, and the Mountaineers didn't take too kindly to that. Here's Mike Body. Strong, hard runner. Closes in on the 30-yard line. We come towards the 2-minute mark of the first quarter.
Really not a very smart thing to say for Mr. Cann, particularly when you're a running back. Why add fuel to the fire?
Teams are just looking for something to fire themselves up with, and they got something there. Rutgers is 0 for 2 on third down plays. Ernie with plenty of time going deep. Willie Edwards on the coverage, almost comes up with the pickoff. Looking for Randy Jackson, number 83, and Willie Edwards was with him stride for stride, and Willie Edwards almost had himself a picture-perfect interception from over the shoulder.
Super job by Willie Edwards. Watch this throw by Scott Ernie. This guy can be a big timer. He really unleashes that ball perfectly on stride. Very well played by Willie.
Matt O'Connell is back to punt for Rutgers.
And I want to apologize to Willie's grandmother. He's not a native of Morgantown. He moved to Morgantown when he was a junior in high school.
He's from North Carolina. O'Connell had a 45-yarder on his first punt. Nice high spiraling kick here. There will be no return as Grannis Bell watches it go out of bounds. And they'll spot the ball at the 38-yard line. So the Mountaineer offense again will have good field position. They'll take it over 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go here in the first quarter of action. And for all of you Mountaineer fans watching in on WCHS TV8 in Charleston, this bud's for you. Well, the WVU offense 0 for 2 on possession so far in the ball game. They've been marching it very well, picking up 99 yards on 20 plays, but still have not come up with points. On 1st and 10, Major has his man, Keith Wynn, but they'll rule it incomplete. The official on the play claiming that Wynn trapped the ball. Pat Udovich, the inside linebacker, on the coverage.
Tony, you and I watched the Syracuse-Rutgers game last night, and Syracuse really utilized that tight end, particularly in his pass routes. We can anticipate West Virginia utilizing their tight ends.
Wynn has been lining up several times in the slot position, so we'll watch that as the game goes on. 2nd down and 10. And the delay goes to A.B. Brown. Tim Lester makes the stop on Brown. Now spotted on the 43-yard line. 1 minute to go here in the first quarter of play. 5-yard pickup, bringing up 3rd down and 5 as Don Nealon sends in the play with receiver Jamie Lamont.
Tony, what the receiver will tell Major is really basically very simple. Each formation has a color, whether it be red or white or black or gray. He'll say red 54, red 54. Major will go in and call the play. Basically very simple.
Harris on 3rd down. Reggie Rembert, the intended receiver, and the Mountaineers will be forced to punt. Doug Kokowski on the coverage for the Scarlet Knights. Ball went off the fingertips there of Reggie Rembert, bit high on the play.
Reggie with that blazing speed, a 4.340, and I can guarantee you there aren't too many people in the country with that kind of speed.
Lance Carrion on for his first punt of the afternoon. Rutgers sending back 2 return men. And it is Brett Snyder on the return. Penalty flags fly on the play. Snyder brings it up to the 34-yard line. Keith Wynn made the stop for the Mountaineers. We've got 3 flags down.
Looked like most definitely a clip on number 75, John Stroya, for the Mountaineers. The Rutgers player just didn't get his head across enough.
39-yard punt by Lance Carrion. And now they'll mark off the penalty.
We have clipping on the return team. It'll be 1st down, Rutgers ball.
Second penalty of the ball game against West Virginia. Our referee this afternoon, John Sophie. So 21 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play. A game that began bang, bang with 2 quick scores, but since that time, West Virginia's offense and the Rutgers offense have been forced into punts. Charlie Bauman missing a 44-yard field goal attempt, and the Mountaineers fumbling one away as they were crossing over the goal line at the 1-yard line. Scott Ernie to throw on 1st down. Pressure is on. A dump pass to Mike Body. They set up the screen. And Body is brought down by Chris Herring. First down for Rutgers. David Lockwood and Herring making the stop. Clock stops now with 13 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Great call by Dick Anderson and the offensive staff there. One play that can beat a very aggressive defense is the screen. Good job by Mike Body that time getting that ball up the field.
19th catch of the season for Mike Body.
He had a big 57-yarder against Penn State this year on a draw play, very similar to the Pitt play with A.B. Brown.
That was the first down of the game for Rutgers. And Ernie looking for more on first down. Over the middle, it's intercepted by Bo Orlando. West Virginia will take the football over. As we head into the second quarter of play, Bo Orlando, after a 2-week absence because of an injury, comes away with his 3rd interception of the season. The pass intended there for the tight end, James Jenkins, and Orlando scoops it right up.
Big play that time by Bo. West Virginia in his zone coverage. The strong safety just sitting in there. Super play for this guy after coming back from those injuries. A great athletic ability, Tony. He runs a 3.89 shuttle run, which was the fastest on the team.
Mountaineers, 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line of Rutgers. A.B. Brown with a hole up the middle. Close to that first down marker as the first quarter of play comes to an end. We'll switch sides of the field. West Virginia marching on the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. A tied ball game as we head into the second quarter of play. West Virginia racking up 114 yards of offense in the first quarter of play. Rutgers held to just 22, and add to the fact that Rutgers quarterback Scott Ernie threw away 2 interceptions. The first interception returned by Darrell Whitmore for the Mountaineers touchdown, and now Bo Orlando's interception has given the Mountaineer offense excellent field position. First down and 10 from the Scarlet Knight 27-yard line. Craig Taylor hemmed in and thrown back at the 25. Darren Sellers makes the stop on number 20, Craig Taylor. A couple of yards on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 8. Taylor missed last week's game with an injury against Cincinnati, stayed back in Morgantown, and he was replaced by Aaron Evans, who did a very good job. Well, this afternoon, Aaron Evans not making the trip for the Mountaineers because of a flu virus, and so Craig Taylor has come back in. Rembert in motion on 2nd down. And it's Anthony Brown, who had 56 yards in the first quarter, and the running room is tough. He'll lose 1 there.
Again, the Rutgers defense tightening up with this ball inside the 30-yard line. That time, Reggie Rembert just kind of missed that crackback block a little bit and couldn't seal off that perimeter.
Pat Udovich, watch him, number 91, coming up to make the stop, an inside linebacker. They close it off, and Udovich comes up and makes the hit.
You don't have a lot of room to run there between the hash and the numbers, and there's not a lot of room for seams. You got to get that ball up the field.
Mountaineers 3 of 5 on 3rd down attempts. 3rd down and 8. Harris has the ball nearly picked off by John Blanton. Looking for Grannis Bell, and it was a poorly thrown ball by Harris. And the Mountaineers will try for their 2nd field goal of the afternoon. Charlie Bauman missing from 44 yards away on his first attempt.
Mountaineers very lucky that time.
And this will be a 43-yarder. So Bauman missed from 44, and now a 43-yard attempt. Definitely in his range. Charlie's kick. Again, no good. Off to the left. So Charlie Bauman, uncharacteristically, misses 2 field goals, definitely in his range. He came into the game 17 of 20 in field goal attempts, and he's 0 for 2 here this afternoon. So again, the Rutgers defense bends but does not break, and it's a 7-7 game with 14 minutes and 9 seconds to go here in the first half of play.
Charlie's coming into this game was also 4th in the country in scoring with 11.1 points per game. He's had a great year up till today. He'll pull through it.
Scott Ernie working himself out of a shade. Ernie with Turnbull after him. And they've got him.
An outstanding job by Ronaldo that time. He fought off that chop block by that running back and prevented Ernie from getting outside. Not only did he seal that perimeter off, he chased the quarterback down and made the tackle.
Ernie is not a running quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. Comes into the game with 32 carries for 33 yards. So normally when he runs, it's out of fright and desperation.
Particularly when he sees Mr. Turnbull chasing him down.
Turnbull so far today has been doing a good job on the pressure. Up the middle comes James Cann. Up ahead to the 34-yard line. 7-yard pickup. Bo Orlando and Theron Ellis making the stop. And we've got another Rutgers player injured. This will be the third one of the ball game. They've already had to take 2 of the Rutgers players off the field. Pergolizzi, the inside linebacker, who was injured in the first quarter of action, will not return with a right knee injury.
Mr. Cann, a very good inside runner. With his ability to pick out those seams, he's not a great getaway runner because he doesn't have that blazing speed, but he's good between tackle and tackle.
Injured man is James Jenkins, tight end for the Scarlet Knights, and he seems to be okay. 13 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in the half, tied up at 7-all. And the Scarlet Knights will be facing a 3rd down and 2 as we resume play. A week ago, in a loss to Pittsburgh, Rutgers was 0 for 6 in 3rd down conversion attempts. So far here today, 0 for 2. Tyrone McQueen and Eric Young lining up as receivers to the left. And Ernie to throw on 3rd down. Ernie's got the room. And he's got the first down as Bo Orlando makes the hit along with Chris Herring. But Scott Ernie wisely had the hole there, picks up 5 yards on the play. And the Scarlet Knights have the first down as they spot the ball on the 39-yard line.
Ronaldo fighting off that chop block. He's responsible for contained. A nice job by Chris Herring coming up. He really puts a good tackle on him.
So the Scarlet Knights with just their second first down of the ball game. And motion on the left side of that line. Ronaldo Turnbull popping off. Was he drawn off? That is the question. Mountaineers have been penalized twice so far in the ball game.
That's a very difficult situation to be in, Tony, particularly with an experienced quarterback, because he'll vocalize his cadence to draw that guy off sides.
It'll be offsides against West Virginia, a 5-yard penalty.
Dead ball foul. Contact foul by the defense. Go first.
Sometimes that center will just move that ball just a tiny bit where the official can't see it, but that middle guard and those defensive linemen can see it. They play a little bit of tricks in there sometimes.
First down and 5. And they go to James Cann. He's met there by Jim Gray, the nose guard for the Mountaineers, and Chris Herring. Herring all over the field so far in this one. He's West Virginia's leading tackler coming into the game with 102 tackles. Number 49, Chris Herring, just having a tremendous season.
He also, Tony, has 2 sacks, 3 tackles for a loss, 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, and a pass block. I mean, he's about a smorgasbord of a defensive player.
He's doing it all, you're right. 4-yard pickup on the play. That'll bring up 2nd down and 1. James Jenkins, who was helped off the field a few plays ago, back into the lineup for the Scarlet Knights. And Rutgers has another first down as they move the ball into West Virginia territory. Mike Body on the carry, Ronaldo Turnbull and Jim Gray coming over to make the stop.
This has turned into an interesting football game, Tony. The first quarter, West Virginia defense shutting down Rutgers offense. Now Rutgers offense able to generate a little bit of offense.
Scott Ernie, who's got school records in attempts, completions, and yards, not having a tremendous throwing afternoon so far. He's 1 of 5. And again, they go to Body, but this time Jim Gray wraps him up, and Chris Herring and Robert Pickett bring him down. Number 49, Chris Herring, who comes into the game with 32 more tackles than any other defensive player on the Mountaineers. As mentioned, 102 stops on the season. Deron Ellis in second place with tackles. He's got 69.
This guy has a great attitude and work habits. Lives in the weight room. And if you want to be a major college football player, that's where you have to live, Tony, in that off season.
Second down and 10. There was no gain there on the carry by Body. Ernie again goes to Body, and again the West Virginia defense closes up quickly. Brings the ball over the 45-yard line. Bo Orlando and Jim Gray making the stop. So the ankle injury that kept Orlando out for 2 weeks seems to have healed itself. Orlando now will take himself out of the lineup as Chris Parker and Lawrence Drumgoole will come in. Orlando not noticeably limping, but he took himself out of the ball game. Third down and 4. Rutgers is 1 of 3 on third down plays. Ernie on the rollout. Has his man, Eric Young, first down for the Scarlet Knights as Darrell Whitmore brings down Eric Young, the senior from New Brunswick, New Jersey, with his first catch of the afternoon. He's the Rutgers leading receiver. An 11-yard pickup there as the Scarlet Knights start to move against the West Virginia defense.
West Virginia loses contain, and they have nobody pressuring the quarterback. Ernie just has all day out there to either run that ball or to dump it off. That time he chooses to dump it off, and they get the first down.
9 minutes and 43 seconds to go here in the second quarter of play. A tied ball game at 7-all. Body in the backfield. And there they go to him. Up the middle, he brings it over the 30-yard line. Chris Herring in to make the hit.
This is a pretty productive drive for Rutgers. I remember the off week for West Virginia. Rutgers played Boston College. Rutgers had a 9-minute and 30-second drive against Boston College. They're a pretty consistent football team.
A week ago, they had the ball taken away from them, literally, as Pittsburgh had 43 minutes on offense. And Rutgers, with just 17, could only manage 10 points in the game. Here's James Cann. A hole for James Cann as he brings it down to the 20-yard line. Scarlet Knight fans on their feet here at Giant Stadium as Bo Orlando and Chris Herring bring down number 32, James Cann. So the Mountaineer defense now doing their version of a bend. Now let's see if they will break. The Rutgers defense has been marching backwards, but they have been able to hold when needed against West Virginia. Tyrone McQueen lines up as a receiver out to the left. And now the officials stop play. Eight minutes and 37 seconds to go here in the first half. Rutgers on first down and 10. And it's James Cann. He is met there by Robert Pickett. A big hit by the wicked Pickett, number 45. Senior out of Miami, Florida, came flying in on the play. A 1-yard loss. That'll bring up second down and 11. Great effort here, John.
A great hit. Notice how he rolls those hips, Tony, on impact and puts the helmet right on him. Great job by Robert Pickett. He's really come on the latter part of this year. He started out a little bit slow, but he's really come on. Captain also.
Second down and 11. Randy Jackson as a receiver to the near side. And they go on a counter play to Body. Pat Marlette over to make the stop after a couple of yard pickup. So Rutgers showed the pass there, but kept it on the ground as Body brings it ahead.
This Rutgers team, Tony, has a nucleus of a very good football team. They went into State College and played very well. It's just that their depth is their major problem. The more confidence that this team gets, the longer it's going to be for West Virginia to hang in there.
7-7. We'll be right back. Third down and 8. Ernie underthrows his intended receiver, Randy Jackson. That'll bring up fourth down. Eric Young, I should say, was the intended receiver. Bo Orlando on the coverage as Scott Ernie underthrows him. And the Mountaineer defense holds off Rutgers.
West Virginia had a strong safety game on, Tony. This is called either a blaze or a jam, where Bo Orlando came in and did a good job pressuring the quarterback.
Matt O'Connell on to hold. Carmen Sclafani on to kick. This will be a 35-yard attempt, and it can give Rutgers the lead. From 35 yards away, Carmen Sclafani's kick is good. The Scarlet Knights of Rutgers take a 10-7 lead, and this is the latest so far this season that West Virginia has been trailing in a ball game.
When's the last?
Fans, don't forget that Mountaineer Sports Nights comes your way next Friday evening on MSN Television. Host Woody O'Hara will look at today's highlights, talk with head coach Don Nealon, and preview the Syracuse game. Mountaineer Sports Night comes your way each Friday evening. Consult your local listings. Well, West Virginia has only trailed so far this season in 2 games. To Maryland at 14-0, and then to Cincinnati a week ago by 3 points. Well, Rutgers has taken the lead here, 10-7, with 7 minutes and 6 seconds to go in the first half of play as Carmen Sclafani kicks a 35-yard field goal, capping off a 14-play drive for the Scarlet Knights. Sclafani now ready to kick the ball off. Eugene Napoleon is the deep man for West Virginia. And it's taken by the up man. This is Jeff Price. And the big guy goes down at the 28-yard line. That's Price's 4th return of the season, believe it or not. Number 51, Jeff Price. He's got more kickoff returns this season than Jamie Lamont or Andre Johnson.
He looks like a bull in a china shop that time.
The ball just seems to conveniently head towards Jeff Price. Normally he does a good job there, but that time he got up a little bit too high and got flipped under. All right, let's see what the West Virginia offense can do here. Mountaineer offense has not put any points on the board yet. First down, Harris throws. He's got his man Grannis Barrow. And Grannis breaks free, and he'll be downed at the 43.5-yard line. First down, West Virginia, as the Mountaineers come out throwing. Rusty Mays and Glenn Miller make the stop on Grantis Bell.
That was a very nice timing pattern, a 3-step drop by Major Harris. He puts the ball right on the money that time, right on the out pattern. Good job by Grantis Bell here, a little shake and bake, and gets a few extra yards.
First down and 10. And the ball carrier is Andre Johnson inside Rutgers territory. Down to the 48 as Andre Johnson comes into the game for his first carry. Mike Bouchard makes the stop from his inside linebacker spot. Andre Johnson, who is now just 46 yards away from becoming the school's 4th all-time leading rusher. Garrett Ford currently holds that mark. Pickup of 8 there by Andre. Second down and 2. Possible pass situation, John. There's the option freeze. Harris in pressure. Fires for Reggie Rembert. Touchdown, West Virginia. Touchdown number 7 of the season for Reggie Rembert. A 48-yard strike. Major Harris gets creamed here as he releases the ball by number 98, Tim Lester, but he got it away just in time to Reggie Rembert.
How many times have we seen this play go for 6 all year, Tony? A super job by Major Harris and Reggie Rembert.
Charlie Bauman with an extra point attempt. This one is good, and West Virginia comes right back to take a 14-10 lead with 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in the first half of play. Well, John, take a look at that last touchdown play. Reggie Rembert is 6 feet 6 inches tall. The right cornerback on the coverage, Glenn Miller, is just 5 feet 8. So provided that Major Harris can get the ball high enough, Rembert certainly will be able to make the catch.
The thing that impresses the coaching staff about Reggie is, hey, they say this guy's not just a track star playing a football. He'll go across that middle and catch that thing. Not like a lot of track stars who just run fast.
21st reception of the season for Rembert, and 7 of the 21 have gone for touchdowns. So he's 33%.
How do you stop that play? I mean, West Virginia runs the option. You're that free safety standing down there, and you know that you have to get in there on that pitch or have the quarterback on that option, and then all of a sudden Big Reggie comes flying down the field with that 4.3 40 speed.
Charlie Bauman will come on to kick it off. The Mountaineers giving up a 92-yard kickoff return in the first quarter of play as Ron Allen ran it back for a touchdown. So the kickoff return unit, a concerned area as far as West Virginia's football team goes.
I think it shows the maturity of this West Virginia team. I mean, here they are down a few points, and they just say, oh, well, we got to go out and score another touchdown and get back in this game again. That's exactly what they did.
3 plays on the drive, covering 72 yards. We mentioned that was Rembert's 7th touchdown catch of the season. Major Harris now with 13 touchdown passes. Charlie Bauman's kickoff, taken by Eric Young at the 13-yard line. Young up the middle. He's got great speed, but Teddy Kester drags him down over the 35-yard line. Number 22, Eric Young, the all-time kickoff return lead man for Rutgers, comes into the game with a 22-yard average on kickoff returns.
He only needs 9 receptions coming into this game to break the reception record of 49 in one season.
They'll spot the ball on the 36-yard line as Scott Ernie brings the play in from the sideline. So far today, Scott Ernie 2 of 7 for 24 yards. So not a big afternoon so far for Scott Ernie. And the Knights to throw on first down. Ernie with plenty of time, intended over there for Tyrone McQueen. David Lockwood on the coverage for West Virginia. McQueen's an interesting story, number 5 for the Scarlet Knights. He's second on the team in receptions. He came to Rutgers as a walk-on. Earned himself a spot and now has taken over as the team's second leading receiver. He's out of Rahway, New Jersey.
That last play was played very well by number 93, Dale Jackson, preventing Ernie from getting to the outside and forcing the bad throw. Good job, Dale.
Rutgers showing a double tight end formation. Single man in the backfield is Mike Body on 2nd down and 10. And they go to Mike Body with a big hole. Preston Waters rides him out of bounds. That'll be a first down for the Scarlet Knights. Nice carry there by Mike Body. 13-yard pickup for the junior from Link, Ronkonkoma, New York.
They slip in the draw there on the West Virginia defense. A little bit of holding there, maybe on number 61, Mike Fox.
Bring the ball up to the 48-yard line. Rutgers looking to bring the ball into West Virginia territory. Came away with a field goal on their last possession. Body again. Scott Summit's there to take him down by the toes. Number 31, Mike Body, leading ground gainer this season for the Scarlet Knights. Coming into the year, he said, one of my big favorites, one of my big likes is playing at Beaver Stadium, the home of the Penn State Nittany Lions. Well, he certainly meant it, because earlier this season, it was Mike Body who went into the Penn State game, came away with a 57-yard run for a touchdown, and that provided the game-winning points as Rutgers knocked off Penn State at Beaver Stadium. 2nd down and 7. And it's Ernie on a nice fake. Here he comes. Met there by Bo Orlando and Darrell Whitmore right at the first down marker. Beautiful play fake there.
Ernie paid the price for that naked bootleg that time, with Darrell Whitmore really come up and laying the hammer to him.
Under 5 minutes to go here in the first half. West Virginia 14 and Rutgers 10. Tyrone McQueen and Eric Young lining up as receivers to the left side. Mike Body is the single man in the backfield, and it's Body on the carry. Looks as though that he's got the first down. Robert Pickett and Theron Ellis make the stop. He needed just about a half a yard, and he's got it. First down for the Scarlet Knights, and that's their 7th of the ball game. So both teams having success moving the football, John.
Yes, coming into this game, well, initially the beginning of the season, Rutgers moved the ball very well, but they kind of lost a little bit of enthusiasm with those 3 losses.
On first down and 10, Scott Ernie looks to throw. Has the time, intended over there for Brett Mersola. David Lockwood on the coverage. Artisan Scarlet Knight fans looking for an interference call, but the referee indicates that the ball was uncatchable. It was high and over the head there of number 81, Brett Mersola, senior out of Burbank, California, one of 3 Californians on the Rutgers team.
He was also a junior college All-American.
He was a great player. Junior college All-American, caught a junior college national record, 91 passes.
He initially enrolled at Colorado, but then later transferred.
Second down and 10, and Rutgers sends out 3 receivers to the left. Mike Body is the ball carrier as a penalty flag is down on the play. There was motion there on the West Virginia defensive front prior to the snap. The Rutgers will probably be given the choice of taking the play or the penalty. Three minutes and 54 seconds to go. Second quarter of play. The Scarlet Knights trail by 4 points. Dal Jackson coming off the field for West Virginia.
We have offsides. Offsides on the defense.
So they'll take the run by Mike Body. A 9-yard pickup. If they had taken the penalty, it would have just been a 5-yarder. So that'll bring up third down and 1. Ball spotted on the 32-yard line in West Virginia territory. James Cann and Mike Body in the backfield. And this is Body, and he is hit and dropped back at the line of scrimmage. Bo Orlando, West Virginia's strong safety, coming under to make the play on Mike Body. And Bo is definitely back. Scarlet Knights will be short of the first down. Fourth down and about a long 1.5 yards.
I'd be surprised if Dick Anderson didn't go for this. I mean, he has nothing to lose.
And Rutgers is going to take a timeout. 3 minutes and 5 seconds to go here in the half. Fourth down and a long 1. Facing the Scarlet Knights. We'll be back to see what happens. West Virginia leads it 14-10. Big fourth down play here. Fourth down and 1.5 yards away. West Virginia's defense looks to hold back the Scarlet Knights. Rutgers trailing it by 4 points, and the crowd comes to their feet here at Giant Stadium. It's Body. He's got it. Ball is loose on the play. West Virginia's got the football. David Lockwood. Body coughed it up after getting the necessary yardage for the first down. And number 41, David Lockwood from Rochester, Pennsylvania, makes the play. Right place, right time, as Theron Ellis puts his helmet right into that football as Body had it tucked underneath.
Big play by the West Virginia defense. Dave Lockwood around the football.
Mountaineers taking over. 2 minutes and 59 seconds to go in the first half, and on first down, Major Harris looks to throw. Harris, with plenty of time, has the man, Keith Wynn. First down, West Virginia at the 44-yard line. Darren Sellis makes the stop as Harris had a tremendous amount of time to unload it there.
Just what we talked about, Tony. West Virginia coaching staff utilizing that tight end. Maybe they saw something in that film against Syracuse that they watched last night.
18-yard pickup on the play. Mountaineers go to Andre Johnson, and he is hit hard there by Pat Gudovich, the inside linebacker. West Virginia with a 4-point lead, looking for some more. here as the halftime comes close. 2 minutes and 21 seconds and counting. 3-yard pickup there by Andre Johnson. It's 2nd down and 7. Major Harris 4 of 7 on the afternoon for 72 yards. Harris to Rembert. And the big guy could not come around to make the play. Thrown behind Reggie Rembert. Rusty Mays, cornerback, was on the coverage, but that was Rembert's ball to catch, but it was thrown behind him.
Big 3rd down here, Tony, coming up. West Virginia has successfully completed 53% of their 3rd down conversions. With 3rd and long, definitely a pass situation, or may slip in a draw there.
Mountaineers will go with a single man in the backfield. That is Rico Tyler. He'll stay back there for blocking purposes. Harris on 3rd down and 7. Blitz is on. Harris with a lot of field to run. 1st down, West Virginia. One minute and 55 seconds to go here in the half as Major Harris scrambles for the 1st down. Doug Kokoski was after him, but Harris avoided the tackle and picks up 26 yards on the play, bringing the ball down to the 26-yard line in Rutgers territory.
Major with just a super job. His ability to turn his back on the line of scrimmage and get up the field, he's giving these New York Riders a Broadway show.
Wynn coming in motion. The fake, and now it's Rembert. He ran it for a touchdown a week ago at Cincinnati, and he's running one here, down to the 3-yard line. 23 yards on the reverse play. West Virginia inside the 5-yard line and pounding on the door here for a late score.
West Virginia with the big play again. Watch number 55, Bob Kovacs. It's like a big locomotive out there in front of Reggie. Super job. Kevin Koken, number 57, out there also. Those linemen getting downfield and just giving that little bit of extra effort to get Reggie into the end zone.
Timeout has been taken by Rutgers. They'll try to regroup as West Virginia is pounding the ball away here on the Scarlet Knight defense. A long pass completion to Keith Wynn began this drive, and then a nice run by Harris on 3rd down and 7, followed by the reverse to Reggie Rembert. Ball spotted at the 2.5-yard line.
Again, West Virginia's ability to strike at any moment. I mean, they can strike on just one play. They can break your back.
Mountaineer fans, about 8,000 to 10,000 of them, approximately, have made their way to Giant Stadium here today, and they are standing on their feet in the familiar chant of "Let's Go Mountaineers."
A beautiful facility here at Giant Stadium. Really first class.
The lower level seats have basically been filled in for the most part, while the upper level seats are all empty here at Giant Stadium.
Has to be one of the nicest pro facilities in the country, Tony, with the beautiful lounge area and locker room.
Mountaineers will go with a double tight end formation. Keith Wynn and Adrian Moss, and double fullbacks, so to speak, with Tyler and Taylor. And Andre Johnson has the hole and the touchdown. Touchdown number 10 of the season for Andre Johnson, as the Mountaineers take a 20-10 lead with 1 minute and 31 seconds to go here in the first half of action.
Just a sprint draw, good solid block by Craig Taylor, the fullback. Andre just utilizing his athletic ability and going up over the top.
Bauman's extra point attempt is good, and West Virginia takes a 21-10 lead with 1:31 to go here in the first half of play. Well, that gives you a perfect indication of the explosiveness of West Virginia's offense.
No doubt about that, Tony. We've been talking about it all year. Their ability to strike, no matter if it's that option freeze play or the flanker reverse to Reggie Rembert, or just the slip a draw in there for A.B. Brown. How many times have we seen that all year?
Mountaineers really loaded the blockers in on that play with a double tight end formation. Craig Taylor was the fullback in front of Johnson, and they also had a wingback in there with Rico Tyler, so plenty of muscle pushing at that Rutgers defensive front as Under Johnson finds himself a seam, and West Virginia takes a 21-10 lead. Johnson now with 13 yards on 3 carries. And it's good to see some of John Garcia's friends able to make the game today. I thought you told those guys to stay back in the room.
Looks like they're from Greenwich Village or someplace.
6 plays, 73 yards. Very quick 1 minute and 26 seconds as West Virginia scores the touchdown. Their second offensive touchdown of the ball game. Darrell Whitmore had the Mountaineers' first TD on an interception return. Charlie Bauman ready to put it into play. Ron Allen and James Cann are back deep to return for the Scarlet Knights. Allen had the 92-yard TD return early on here in the ball game. This is Scott Blanche, a tight end for the Scarlet Knights. Ball is loose on the play, and it looks as though Blanche was able to get back on top of it. That's the call. Steve Grant, number 4, making the big hit on the play, jarring the ball loose.
Well, that's one way to prevent the return. Squib it down there. Don't give it to that deep threat.
Rutgers will start off with good field position. First down and 10 from the 39-yard line.
You know, this Scott Ernie's not a bad quarterback. In one game, he threw for over 400 yards.
35 completions in that game against Vanderbilt. I don't think the Mountaineers have had 35 passing attempts in one game this season. Scarlet Knights will keep it on the ground as Mike Body brings it ahead to the 45-yard line. 6-yard pickup. Robert Pickett and Theron Ellis making the stop. Official blows the play dead. We've got a flag down. Five-yard face mask penalty will be the call against West Virginia.
The 5-yard face mask on the defense, the first down.
Ball spotted right at midfield, the 50-yard line. Tyrone McQueen lining up as a receiver to the near side. Scott Ernie has not been on so far. He's 2 of 9. Over the middle he goes to the tight end Jenkins, and he underthrows. That'll bring up second down and 10. Big James Jenkins, junior out of Staten Island, New York, comes into the ball game with 8 catches. Not known for his pass catching ability, but he does a tremendous job blocking, John.
Yeah, West Virginia coaching staff is very impressed with this guy. They think he's the best athlete on the football team.
Brett Mersola as a receiver up top. Tyrone McQueen to the left side. Second down and 10. Mike Body looks for room. Theron Ellis brings him down at midfield. One-minute mark of the first half. West Virginia has come back to take a 21-10 lead. The Mountaineers trailing at 10-7. Third down. And Ernie badly throws the ball intended over there for Tyrone McQueen. Preston Waters on the coverage for West Virginia.
Probably got a good shot at that.
That'll bring up fourth down, and Dick Anderson will bring on the punt team. So Scott Ernie's having trouble now, 2 of 11 throwing.
He's been hot and cold all year, and it'll just take some time.
Matt O'Connell averaging 36 yards on 2 kicks so far. Rannis Bell waits back for West Virginia on the 10-yard line. O'Connell off to the right on this one. And Rutgers should get a good touchdown here. Rolling, and they touch it down at the 3-yard line. 36 seconds to go, first half of play. And West Virginia will start off from inside the 5-yard line. Mountaineers, no doubt, will just kill off the clock here. They lead it by 11 points, 21-10.
There's Dick Anderson. He was an outstanding tight end for Penn State, 1961 and 1963. He was also captain of the baseball team at Penn State his senior year.
This is season number 5 at Rutgers for Dick Anderson. He comes in today's game with 24 wins, 26 losses, and 2 ties. So 2 games under 500 for Dick Anderson in his stay here at Rutgers. He's had some very big wins, and he's had some very disappointing losses, and I'm sure the last 3 games have been of the disappointing fashion. Losses to Army, Temple, and to Pitt. And Major Harris on the quarterback keep, and the Mountaineers will be content to run down the clock here. 23 seconds and counting. And Don Nealon coordinating things down so that the Mountaineers can just chew up the clock here. Clock continues to wind down now under 10 seconds, and that will be it for the first half of play. Three zeros across to the Mountaineers, and the Scarlet Knights head into the locker room here at Giant Stadium with West Virginia holding an 11-point lead. The Mountaineers 21 and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights 10. Stay tuned for our halftime activities. Halftime at Giant Stadium, West Virginia 21 and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights 10.
Today's game is brought to you by Key Centurion Bank Shares, building our communities together. Your Mountaineer Chrysler Plymouth dealers, the competition knows it's the team to beat. Bud Light, everything else is just a light. U.S. Air, with flights to over 100 cities in North America. At U.S. Air, we welcome all our passengers, one at a time. Walker Machinery, your Caterpillar dealer.
All set to begin second half action here at Giant Stadium, the Meadowlands in New Jersey, with West Virginia leading the Rutgers Scarlet Knights by a score of 21-10. Tony Caridi along with John Garcia. John, a very interesting first half of play to say the least. We had a 7-7 score with under 2 minutes gone by in the game. We saw a kickoff return for a touchdown. We saw an interception return for a touchdown. But by the time things came down to what we could call a more normal period of play, West Virginia did a very good job marching on Rutgers, and at times Rutgers showed the ability to march the ball on West Virginia. Take a look at the average field position. The Mountaineers starting off from the 37-yard line, which is considered excellent. Rutgers beginning their possessions on the average from the 23-yard line. And you take a look at that average on first down, which is so important. 5.8 yards for West Virginia, 1.4 for Rutgers. John, that really sets up what you're going to do on second down and gives you the ability to do a lot more things when you can pick up 5 on your first play. Mountaineers will receive the opening kickoff here in the second half of play. Doug Geisler will kick the ball off for Rutgers. Carmen Sclafani had been kicking off, but now they'll put Geisler into the lineup for Rutgers. At one point, West Virginia trailed this game 10-7, but they came right back and have taken a 21-10 lead. And it will be Jamie Lalonde starting off from the 15-yard line, the senior from Washington, Pennsylvania, over the 25-yard line, and West Virginia will start at first down and 10 from just over the 25. Joe Altamar makes the stop there on number 15. Jamie Lamont handling the kickoff returns for the Mountaineers. He's the number 2 man at the split end position. Comes into the ball game with 14 catches. So Major and company will have a good first down and 10 situation here as they started off from the 28-yard line. Major 4 of 8 in the first half and included 1 touchdown pass. And the give goes to A.B. Brown with a big hole, first down, West Virginia, as he works the ball down to the 45-yard line. Vaughn McCoy and Glenn Miller make the stop on Anthony Brown. A 17-yard pickup for A.B. Brown. A.B. with 51 yards in the first half of play. That brings him up to 68 yards on 15 carries. And Major Harris tripping there as he starts back. Harris with plenty of time has Calvin Phillips. Picks up a couple on the play. That's Calvin's first reception of the afternoon. Mike Conlon, number 95, makes the stop there on Cal Phillips, who came into the game as the team's leading receiver with 21 catches. Picks up 4 there on the play. Phillips and Reggie Rembert have been having a friendly duel all season as to the team's pass reception lead. Phillips came in with 21, Rembert with 20, and Reggie had that touchdown catch in the first half, so Phillips now still on top by 1. Bit of a delay, and A.B. Brown trips up. Pickup of a yard on the play, and that'll bring up 3rd down. Injured Mountaineer down on the play. And it's West Virginia center, number 57, Kevin Koken. Kevin Koken shaken up. One of the keys to the West Virginia offensive line, the senior from Youngstown, Ohio. Taking a look at the right leg of Koken. Major Harris will use the time. Talk things over with the WVU coaching staff. Number 51, Jeff Price. Warming up on the sideline. He will go in for Kevin Koken. 13 minutes and 42 seconds to go. 3rd quarter of action. Just underway here in the second half. Calvin Phillips, Rannis Bell, and Reggie Rembert now coming into the lineup for West Virginia. A.B. Brown will go out. Major Harris there with head coach Don Neal, and you see next to Harris is Jeff Price, number 51. So Price will come into the game for the Mountaineers in place of Kevin Koken. A year ago, Major Harris had 304 yards of total offense against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. In the first half alone today, he rushed for 57 yards, threw for another 96. So he's got 153 yards of total offense so far here today, and continues to play extremely well. Sophomore season for the Mountaineers. And there's a look at Scott Ernie, Rutgers starting quarterback, who really struggled in the first half of action. Ernie finished up 2 of 11 for just 24 yards, and the 2 interceptions, one of which really came back to haunt him as Darrell Whitmore ran it in for a touchdown. Well, a good sight here as Ernie continues to warm up, and that's Kevin Koken. Walking off, for the most part, under his own power as he tests out that right leg. Big Kevin Koken, one of the nicest guys on this Mountaineer team.
If you notice there on his right leg, Tony, he had that knee brace, and that thing can prevent a very serious knee injury. Luckily, he had it on that time.
Jeff Price now, the new center, into the game for West Virginia, so the first couple of snaps here very important on the exchange to Harris. 2nd down and 7. Major on the roll. As his man, 1st down, West Virginia, down to Calvin Phillips. Spotted at the 28-yard line. Number 41, Rusty Mays, got beat on the play as Calvin Phillips makes his 2nd catch of the half and his 2nd catch of the ball game. Tremendous season for the senior from Boynton Beach, Florida.
Craig Taylor doing a real nice job there, sealing that outside and letting Major get to the outside and get to that perimeter. Nice throw and catch.
Mountaineers began this drive back at their own 28. Now they're at the 28 of Rutgers. A.B. Brown, bit of a seam, moves it ahead to the 25-yard line. So a pickup of 2, that'll bring up 2nd down and 8. Tim Lester, number 98, makes the stop there on Brown. Mountaineers come into this one averaging 44 points per game. They put 21 on the board in the first half, and they're looking for their first score here in the second half. Rembert lining up far up top. Wynn now coming over in motion out of the I formation. And it's the fullback, Craig Taylor. Ahead for a yard, that'll be all. Chuck Paul, reserve defensive tackle, makes the stop there on Craig Taylor.
This is a big drive for West Virginia, able to come down here after halftime, settle things down, use that clock up, and put some points on the board.
3rd down and 6. West Virginia on 3rd down conversions is 5 of 7. Harris blitzes on, looking for Rembert. Oh, a beautiful defensive play there. Darren Sellers and Rusty Mays just got their hands in time as Reggie Rembert was looking for his second touchdown catch of the ball game. Nice throw, but a good defensive job there by Sellers and Mays.
Notice number 79, Doug Kokoski, coming in your picture there with a linebacker blitz. Watch Reggie. He's able to take a hit. He gets one right here in the soup coolers.
Field goal attempt now for the Mountaineers. A 41-yard attempt. Bauman 0 for 2 this afternoon. A 41-yarder this time is no good. Off to the right. And Charlie Bauman is having his worst field goal kicking day as a Mountaineer. Coming into this one, he had missed 3 all season in 20 attempts. And now he's 0 for 3 here today. So West Virginia drives but does not come away with points. Rutgers will take over, first down and 10 from the 24-yard line. Scott Ernie looking to get himself warmed up after a 2 of 11 first half. Ernie on the roll. Turnbull in pursuit. And Elvoyd Mays on the coverage of Brett Marsola. So Rutgers comes out firing. That'll bring up second down and 10. Outside linebacker Ronaldo Turnbull doing a good job there pressuring Ernie, John.
That's right. His job is not to let Ernie get outside and put the D-backs in a position where they have to come up and make the play on the run. He did a great job that time.
Elvoyd Mays and Willie Edwards on the corners for West Virginia. The free safety is Darrell Whitmore, and Bo Orlando the strong safety. On second down and 10, Turnbull again. James Cann on the reception. He's got room. And Cann initially hit there by Willie Edwards and brought down by Chris Herring. That's good for a first down for the Scarlet Knights. And they'll spot the ball ahead to the 36-yard line, 37.
It's a real nice play selection by Dick Anderson. A throwback screen. Pretty good read by Robert Pickett on that thing. Just couldn't make the tackle.
Nice job there by Willie Edwards. Didn't bite on the fakes of James Cann. Makes the initial hit. So the Scarlet Knights with their first down of the half, and Ernie again looks to throw. And we'll have a penalty on this one as Tyrone McQueen, the intended receiver, was dragged down by Elvoyd Mays. Pass interference is the call against the Mountaineers.
The Mountaineer fans thinking that's a questionable call with the strip.
That'll bring up a first down here for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Let's take another look.
You see Ronaldo Turnbull get knocked off his feet there. That enabled Ernie to get outside and have the ability to throw that ball.
Tough one to call there.
Yeah, it's questionable.
Bang, bang play. Nonetheless, Rutgers has the ball down to the 48-yard line, looking to bring it into West Virginia territory on first down. Eric Young in motion. And they keep it on the ground to Body. And Bo Orlando comes up to make the stop behind the line of scrimmage. Number 22, Bo Orlando, the senior out of Berwick, Pennsylvania.
The big play guy, Bo Orlando, back here near his hometown in Berwick, Pennsylvania, just a few short hours from here.
Good job by Bo Orlando as he drags down Mike Body. 2-yard loss on the play. Under 11 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Rutgers' first possession of the second half. Ernie across the middle has his tight end, James Jenkins. Down to the 30-yard line. First down for the Scarlet Knights. Darrell Whitmore and Willie Edwards on the stop as James Jenkins comes up with his 10th catch of the season. A 24-yard pickup for James Jenkins.
Again, the West Virginia coaching staff very concerned about number 82, James Jenkins, and his ability, his athletic ability, being able to run and block like he can. There was a throwback with Mr. Jenkins just running a little hook pattern underneath.
Jenkins apparently injured his knee on the play. He was never hit as he went down and was down because of his knee touching the ground, but he's shaken up, and you see him there at the 35-yard line with the knee. There's a look at Kevin Koken. He has sprained his knee, and he will not return to action this afternoon. Senior out of Youngstown, Ohio, obviously very disappointed, and hopefully, John, that is just a minor sprain for Kevin Koken.
This is where that depth pays off, Tony. Number 51, Jeff Price, has played a lot of football all year, about every third series. And that was Coach Nealon's intentions of rotating those people every third series, just for opportunities like this.
First down and 10. The Scarlet Knights with the ball on the West Virginia 29. Ernie to Body. He's in trouble. Loses the ball and picks it back up. Up towards the 25-yard line, Bo Orlando makes the stop. Darrell Whitmore slow to get up on the play. He is limping.
Big Pat Marlette, number 95, just backed his defensive tackle up and made a big clog in that play. Body was awful lucky. That ball dropped, taking that bounce right back into his hands.
Whitmore injures himself on the play, and Zippy Shear will come in to play free safety. Second down and 7 for the Knights. West Virginia showing pressure. Body makes the catch. Bo Orlando there to make the hit. Ernie now seeming to become more comfortable with his throwing. 5 of 15. Started off the second half 2 of 11.
What we're seeing, Tony, is a very controlled passing game. I mean, they're going to keep you off balance. They'll slip a run in there every once in a while. Very short. Let's do what Ernie does best, and that's show those little 10 and 15-yard patterns.
Big third down play here. Third down and 3. Ernie has the pass deflected. So West Virginia holds on third down, and now it's up to Dick Anderson, and he'll send the field goal unit out. Ronaldo Turnbull, number 87, getting his hand on the ball here, as he has all season long. That's his third pass deflection, but Turnbull has become a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. They'll spot the ball on the 30-yard line. This will be a 40-yard attempt for Cameron Sclafani. Definitely within his range. The kick, though, just sneaks in there. It was short, but it just crossed over the bar. Rutgers comes back to get 3, 21-13 here in the third quarter of play. Well, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights come away with a 40-yard field goal to draw first blood here in the second half of action. 21-13, the Mountaineers still holding on to the lead. 8 plays in the drive for Rutgers, covering 53 yards, and Sclafani kicks the field goal. Speaking of field goals, it's been a terribly disappointing day for Charlie Bauman of West Virginia. He's missed field goals of 41, 43, and 44. In fact, he missed a field goal here in the second half of play. And West Virginia had the chance to score first, but Bauman's kick off again, and Rutgers came back and got a field goal of their own. So it's 21-13 as Giesler puts his foot in the ball, and Eugene Napoleon is back deep to return for the Mountaineers. This is Napoleon from the 8-yard line. The wall is set. Napoleon spins ahead just over the 30-yard line. First down and 10 for the Mountaineers, and on comes Major Harris and the crew. And John, the latest in nose warmers on display here at Giant Stadium today. Fans, don't forget that Mountaineer basketball season coming up quickly on the 26th of November. That's the first home game. Season tickets on sale now for all 14 home games. Be a part of the Mountaineer team spirit. Contact Mountaineer Ticket Office for more information. Harris on the option. First down. He's got a seam, and here comes the Major. Down to the 45-yard line. First down for the West Virginia Mountaineers as Rusty Mays upends Major Harris.
We haven't seen too much of the base option today. That time Major Harris spreads that defense out, finds a seam, and gets up the field.
15 more yards for Major Harris. He's got 72 now on 6 carries. So Harris with a 12-yard average when he keeps the ball here today. Reggie Rembert lines up out to the left. Kelvin Phillips to the near side. On first down and 10, it's A.B. Brown. And Brown spins ahead over midfield, and he's into Rutgers territory as Pat Udovich, the inside linebacker, comes over to make the stop. 8 minutes and 20 seconds remain here in the third quarter of play. A.B. Brown picks up 4 more yards there, now has 72 on the afternoon. Brown closing in on a 100-yard afternoon. It would be his 5th of the season.
A.B. the type runner that at the end of the game you say, man, I didn't know he had 100 yards. He just grinds it out very slow and surely.
Here comes A.B. once again, and another 5 more for Anthony Brown. Chuck Paw and Pat Udovich make the stop on A.B. I said this would be his 5th 100-yard game. It would be his 4th. He had 103 yards against Penn State, 110 back against the Pittsburgh Panthers, and 191 against Virginia Tech. A week ago, he had 70 yards against Cincinnati. On the carry, West Virginia 1 yard short of the first down, a third down situation for the Mountaineers. And again, it's Brown. Brown, first down, spinning ahead, and they'll mark him down at the 27-yard line. Darren Sellis finally came up to make the stop, but Anthony Brown with a big burst up the middle. 18 yards for Anthony Brown. Good blocking here, John.
A sprint draw, and A.B.'s ability to utilize that cutback and see that seam. Boy, he almost loses the handle here momentarily.
He's had a problem with fumbles, but held on to it there. Nice block on that last play by left tackle Rick Phillips. Broke the hole open for A.B. Brown. First down for the Mountaineers from the 27-yard line, and it's the fullback Craig Taylor pushing ahead. Down at the 23. Pat Udovich again inside to make the stop.
A real nice job that time by number 55, Bob Kovach, on the fold block, pulling around there and coming up like a big old train and clearing things out.
Keith Wynn in at the tight end. Jamie Lamont and Reggie Rembert are the receivers as the Mountaineer tries to fire things up in the stands. Here's the Major on second down. Pressure is on. Wynn with the reception down to the 15-yard line. First down for the Mountaineers. Darren Sellis makes the stop on Keith Wynn. A 9-yard pickup, the second reception of the ball game for Wynn.
Defensively, that thing was played pretty well by the Rutgers defense. I mean, they had contained, had people in good positions there. Major just gets the ball there.
2 catches going for 28 yards for Keith Wynn, who takes a big pop but holds on there. Ball spotted at the 14-yard line. And Craig Taylor going in motion, and West Virginia will march back 5 yards on the motion penalty. On that kind of an afternoon, John, you know, West Virginia brings it down to the 1-yard line. Ball is fumbled. Charlie Bowen misses 3 field goals. Motion penalties, things like that. They just haven't been 100% on track.
That's right. And when this team goes to a bowl game, if you're not on track and you're not at your best, you could be in for a long afternoon. You can make those mistakes against the Rutgers.
First down and 15. Harris into the end zone for Phillips. Just overthrown. Vaughn McCoy was back there on Kel Phillips as Major Harris went for it all to Kelvin Phillips. That'll bring up second down and 15. Mountaineers can ill afford not to score on this drive, John. Some points here would definitely take the wind out of the sails of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Conversely, if they can hold West Virginia here, they say, hey,
we're still in this ball game.
We're only 8 points away from the lead. Second down at 15. Single man in the backfield is Craig Taylor. Harris. Major down to the 15-yard line. Glenn Miller shopping down Major Harris. That'll bring up third down and long. 4-yard pickup on the play.
Major is really something special here. This is a designated quarterback draw. As you notice, number 51, Jeff Price, was already down the field. If that would have been Major Harris, scrambling on his own, Jeff would have been staying on that line of scrimmage.
Mountaineers will take a timeout with 5 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in the third quarter of action. West Virginia leading at 21-13, and they'll be faced by a 3rd down and 10 when we return. 21-13, we'll be back. Well, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights have their biggest defensive play coming up. 3rd down and 11. They trail the ball game by 8. And here comes Major Harris. Harris looks for the first down. He's got it. Short of the goal line, but he's got the first down. Beautiful play by Major Harris, who's been able to run well all afternoon off of the option look.
When it's 3rd and 11, what do? You give the ball to Major Harris, your big play guy. He'll get the job done. There's no doubt about that.
The Mountaineers needed to get it inside the 3-yard line for a first down, and they'll spot it at the half-yard line. This is the 2nd time today that they've had the ball that close to the goal line. The last time they were fumbling into the goal line and never came away with the points. This time, nothing yet, but Taylor gets it in on a tremendous second effort. Watch number 79, Kokowski. He makes the initial hit, and just a tremendous effort by Craig Taylor. Well, if I can't get in that door, let me try the back entrance. Touchdown number 7 of the season for Craig Taylor. Charlie Bauman with the extra point attempt. It is good, and West Virginia has taken a 28, make it 27, 28-13 lead. 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter of action. Don't go away. Fans, don't forget Mountaineer Sports Night comes your way next Friday evening on MSN Television. Host Woody O'Hara will be talking with head coach Don Nealon about today's game against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and previewing next week's game against the Syracuse Orangemen. Mountaineer Sports Night coming your way each Friday evening. Consult your local listings for the time in your area. West Virginia 28 and Rutgers 13 with 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter of play as Craig Taylor pounded one in there, John Garcia. Just a tremendous effort as the Linden, New Jersey native comes home and bangs one in.
Super job by Craig Taylor on the second effort. His ability to jump up over the pile, coming down, landing on his feet, reversing, and getting that ball in the end zone.
4 minutes and 23 seconds on that drive for West Virginia. Rutgers came away with a field goal on their first possession here in the second half.
That touchdown certainly made Mountaineer fans breathe a little bit easier, relax a little bit, and enjoy the football game.
Ron Allen and James Cann back deep to return for Rutgers. And Charlie Bauman will kick it off. Mountaineers have racked up 391 yards in total offense so far on the season. They're averaging 495 yards a game. Poor kickoff here by Bauman, but it is bobbled. Ball is loose, and Rutgers gets back on top of it. Lonnie Brockman down there for West Virginia, but Rutgers comes away with the football.
Now that was a funny play. It looks like they were saying, well, I don't want it, you take it. Things are getting too hot in here.
Ron Allen, number 18, a guy who started this game off for Rutgers with a 92-yard touchdown return, was the guy that comes up with the loose ball here. Watch him, number 18, Allen, holds off Steve Grant there and pounces back on top of it. Scarlet Knights showing 3 receivers off to the left. Ernie has his man Mersola, but he cannot hold on. Robert Pickett and Chris Herring back on the coverage for West Virginia. Well thrown ball by Ernie, but Mersola could not hold it. That's the 4th drop of the game for Rutgers. So besides Ernie, it's the receivers of Rutgers that are having their problems.
Number 73, Scott Summons, just did an outstanding job. He kept fighting out all the way to the outside and preventing that quarterback to get to the perimeter.
Second down and 10. Scarlet Knights go to James Cann, and he is met hard by number 94, Chris Parker. Check that. That was Skip Fuller, number 84. There's Skippy, another of the New Jersey players on the West Virginia side. And Skip made a heck of a play right there. Give him 2 yards on the play. And that'll bring up third down and 8. Rutgers, who came into the game with an average of over 200 yards passing with just 95 so far. On third down, Ernie on the dump pass has it intercepted by Theron Ellis. The third interception of the ball game thrown by Scott Ernie, the first interception of the season for number 66, Theron Ellis. Several times this season, John Garcia, he's had balls hit him right in the chest, but he was unable to hold on. But there, he makes the clean pickoff of Ernie's pass.
West Virginia in a man coverage underneath. Theron has body man-to-man. He sat in there, played that thing to perfection.
West Virginia will start it off first down and 10 from the 31-yard line. Mountaineers with a 15-point lead, looking for more. Craig Taylor down to the 25-yard line. Flag comes down, and we're going to get a face mask penalty against Rutgers. Number 98, Tim Lester, made the stop, and he probably got the hand up there on the head of Craig Taylor. Taylor does not know the word stoppage of play, apparently.
He's a horse in there. There's no doubt about it.
5 yards on the penalty. So West Virginia will have it at the Rutgers 20. Craig now with 35 yards on 10 carries and the touchdown. On first down and 10, Wembert and Kelvin Phillips are the receivers. On the option, Harris thrown back behind the line of scrimmage. Good job that time by the Scarlet Knights to hold back Major Harris. Carter Giles, number 96, the nose guard, there to make the stop, a 2-yard loss. That'll bring up second down and 12. Watch 96 on the play. Carter lateral drive, huh, John?
Yeah, he did a real good job getting across the line of scrimmage and keeping flat. Don't get upfield. Keep flat on that line of scrimmage and chase that ball carrier down.
Adrian Moss in as the West Virginia tight end. Second down and 12. Watch it from the side. Here comes Sellis. And Harris does a good job just to keep that ball held on. Darren Sellis came on a cornerback blitz.
I think everybody in the stadium wanted to say, look out, Major, he's coming behind you. That thing took so long to get there. A good job by Major holding on to that football. I mean, that's a heck of a feeling. You have no sense that that guy's even behind you. That shows Major's strength there, his ability to hold on to that ball.
Third down and 22. Let's see if the Major can perform another piece of magic here. Going for it all. Has the ball nearly picked off there. Number 41, Rusty Mays, makes his second pass deflection of the second half. If you'll remember, it was Mays that tipped the ball intended for Rembert. And now Mays gets in there on the pass attempt for Calvin Phillips. That'll bring up fourth down, and West Virginia's punt team comes on. Lance Carrion has kicked the ball once, a 39-yarder. Ron McCoy is back deep for the return for Rutgers. And Carrion's coffin corner kick be knocked into the end zone, and they'll call it a touchback. West Virginia players contending that it was pushed in by Rutgers. But official Gene Steratore says, nope, touchback. West Virginia will hang on defense, and they'll start it off from the 20-yard line. Rutgers 1st and 10 from the 20. Rushing yards, West Virginia 256 so far in the ball game. They come in averaging 291 yards on the ground, so they're on mark to hit their average again here today.
Obviously, Tony, that Charlie Bonneman's lack of success today affected Coach Newland's decision on that, not to kick the field goal and go ahead and try to punt it in the corner.
24-7.
Scott Ernie, 5 of 18. His team down by 15 points. He'll go to the air once again, and here come the Mountaineers. Chris Parker leads the parade. Jim Gray also in on the hit, as Scott Ernie is sacked back at the 11-yard line. A 9-yard loss on the sack by West Virginia. And John, they've had a great season of sacks as far as the Mountaineers go.
Big Chris Parker coming in with a great pass rush. He just about swallows Ernie there. West Virginia with 37 sacks this year. Ronaldo Turnbull with 11, closing in on Steve Hathaway's record of 15 in one season.
Well, the Mountaineers know Rutgers will be passing here. 2nd down and 19, or will they? Body. Pickett after him, and Pickett has got him. Down to the 12-yard line. Pickett read the play. A 1-yard pickup as Robert Pickett spins down Mike Body.
That was very nicely played by Robert Pickett. I mean, you can't play this thing any better. Sit in there. Don't let that ball outside your defense. Don't let this kid get outside. And just brings him down.
That shows the strength of Robert Pickett. Be able to two-hand Mike Body down.
Like a rag doll there.
So when you say you think they're going to pass, they run it. Well, let's see what they do here. 3rd and 17. They'll go to the air. The pressure on again. And here's the screen. Body brought down beautifully by Bo Orlando. A bodacious hit by Bo Orlando. And that'll force Rutgers into a punt. It's 4th down and 17.
The Bo is back. What a beautiful read on that screenplay.
Those are the kind you dream about at night. 3rd quarter of play has come to an end. West Virginia with a 15-point lead, 28-13. Matt O'Connell will be punting from the goal line of Rutgers. Rannis Bell back deep to return, standing at midfield. Here come the Mountaineers. A high punt. Bell will call for the fair catch. And West Virginia will start it off at the 43-yard line in Rutgers territory. So great field possession starting off the 4th quarter for the Mountaineers, who lead it 28-13. John, we should compliment the Mountaineer defense. Coming into the ball game, there were some questions about them based upon the performance a week ago at Cincinnati. But so far today, they have held Rutgers to 3 plays and a punt on 7 different occasions. So they've done the job when they've had to.
And we got to thank Mr. Can for adding a little fuel to the fire with his comments.
1st down and 10. Major on the option. Looking for something special, and Major Harris is dropped behind the line of scrimmage by George Bankos, number 71, defensive tackle for Rutgers.
You know, you talked about the Rutgers offense, Tony, and when they run, they pass, and when you think they're going to pass, they run. That's exactly what Coach Krlavich, the outside linebacker, told me, the coach last night, that, hey, they have no definite tendencies. You can't pin anything down on them as far as 1st and 10 and 2nd and short and that sort of thing.
Good to see the Beast of the East in the stands here this afternoon at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. And for all of you Mountaineer fans watching in on WTRF in Wheeling, this bud's for you. 14 minutes and 42 seconds to go. We've got an injured Rutgers player down on the play. Mike Conlin, outside linebacker. Take a look at the numbers through the first 3 quarters. West Virginia racking up 386 yards of total offense, 153 for the Scarlet Knights. Rutgers known as a passing team with just 64 yards through the air so far. 1-yard loss on that Major Harris throwback, and it's 2nd down and 11 as Rembert comes in motion. The delay goes to A.B. Brown, looking for a hole. He's got it. Brown down to the 32-yard line. Chuck Paugh makes the stop on Anthony Brown. First down for West Virginia.
West Virginia with a draw play, a great situation to be in. A.B. with his ability to cut back and get up. You notice how he accelerated. He found that little seam and accelerated and spin and moved and got up the field.
That 11-yard pickup by A.B. gives him 106 yards for the game. The fourth time he's gone over 100 this season. And the fullback, Craig Taylor, pops free. Knocked down to the 20-yard line. First down for West Virginia. Darren Sellis makes the stop on Craig Taylor, who's having a great second half.
The tackle was assisted by the official that time. The poor little guy almost got ran over.
Rantis Bell and Jamie Lamont are the receivers on first down and 10. And again, they keep it on the ground. A.B. Brown ahead for a couple. Doug Kokoski makes the stop on Brown. Well, A.B. Brown has not scored a touchdown yet today. Craig Taylor has scored one. Andre Johnson has scored one, and I'm sure A.B. Brown, who's got 108 yards so far, would like to have one as well. Long count by the major. And they go to Taylor. Here comes Craig Taylor. Touchdown number 2 of the game. A 19-yard touchdown for Craig Taylor. His 8th of the season. And the Mountaineers open up a 34-13 lead.
The big Diesel gets running. He gets that ball north and south. And when he sees that goal line, he saw that blue. Baby, he just turned it on.
A key block thrown on that play by John Stroya as Craig Taylor heads to the bench with his second touchdown of the game. Charlie Bauman's extra point is good. And West Virginia has opened up a 35-13 lead with 13 minutes and 9 seconds to go in the ball game. John, another look at a tremendous effort by West Virginia fullback Craig Taylor. Nice block there by John Stroya.
The offensive line did a great job. When Major Harris reverses out like that, that's awful hard for those middle linebackers to figure out where that ball's going. Then on the cutback, Craig just cut it back to the inside. Hey, when this big guy gets those shoulders square to the line of scrimmage, he's like an old Diesel just getting up the road.
66 yards on 12 carries for Craig Taylor, plus a pair of touchdowns. West Virginia has things in control here in the fourth quarter. Charlie Bauman ready to kick it off once again. Wouldn't be surprised here, John, if Bauman squibs the kick. His last kick was a poor one.
He is certainly having some difficulties today.
Vince Hall and Ron Allen are back deep to return. And this will be Hall from the 13-yard line. Hall breaks free, and he is brought down just over the 30. E.J. Wheeler makes the stop for West Virginia. Mountaineer scoring drive, just using up 5 plays, 1 minute and 46 seconds. Craig Taylor from 19 yards away. Got a penalty marker down on that play, John. Thrown back at the 29-yard line, way behind the play. Looks as though we're going to have another kickoff here.
Possibly an offsides penalty on the kickoff itself.
That's exactly what it is. So we'll do that again, 5 yards deeper. There's Greg Jones, West Virginia's reserve quarterback, warming up along the sideline. Jones saw his most playing time of the season a week ago at the University of Cincinnati as Major Harris was injured. Midway through the third quarter, Jones came in, did a real nice job. He's a transfer from the University of Miami.
Boy, I bet it's really comforting to have a backup quarterback like that who you have confidence in to go in and take control of a game like that, like he did against Cincinnati.
Ron Allen, number 18, talking things over there with Vince Hall, number 36, as Charlie Bauman tees it off from the 30-yard line. That was one of the big stories of the game. West Virginia averaging 6.5 yards on first down plays. Rutgers held to just 1.
Doesn't take a math major to figure out. Only takes 2 of those to get a first down.
Bauman once again. This time it's Ron Allen. He's got a kickoff return for a touchdown here today. This time he is stood up and brought down at the 35-yard line. Just over the 35, that's where Rutgers will take over. E.J. Wheeler again in on the stop. Well, John, defensively now, what are you thinking? Your team is up by a count of 35-13. You know that Rutgers is going to have to pass the football to stay into this game. Rutgers is going to either have to say, yep, we're going to go for it and put the ball into the air, or we're going to concede defeat and just hand it off and kill the clock.
I think we'll see a lot of man coverage by West Virginia and a get-after-him defense. Coach Shaw's not going to play any type prevent. He's going to go after you.
Well, Ernie is out, and a new quarterback is in. His name is Tom Tarver. So let's see if Tarver can do anything differently for Rutgers. Pressure on, and Tarver does not get a warm welcome into the ball game. Jimmy Gray, the nose guard for West Virginia, and Scotty Summits, number 73, make the hit on Tom Tarver.
That's one way to say welcome to the Mountaineer country. But just like we talked about, Tony, this team isn't going to sit back. They're going to go after you. You know, it doesn't matter what the score is or how much time's on the clock.
There's number 98, Jim Gray, redshirted freshman nose guard for West Virginia. He's out of West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. One of the bright stars of the future for the Mountaineers. Loss of 4 on the play, 2nd down and 14. And they go to Body. Penalty flags are down. Bo Orlando and Pat Marlette make the stop on Body. Flags came down in the Rutgers backfield. It will go against the Knights. Illegal procedure is the call. I'm sorry, I'm taking this man's job away from him.
That time, Tony, Rutgers put the formation into the boundary. West Virginia was in a man coverage, so Bo was lined up into the boundary. And then he just really laid the wood to him that time. He sat in there in that draw, made a big play. I tell you, that has to be a nominee for the defensive champion.
3rd down and 12. The Knights have struggled on 3rd down here today. 3 of 10 in 3rd down conversions. Tarver looking for his first pass completion. Turnbull is after it, and Turnbull has got him. Chalk up another sack for Ronaldo Turnbull. His 13th of the season, his 2nd of the ball game. And West Virginia has held off the Rutgers Scarlet Knights once again.
Again, West Virginia in a man coverage. Ronaldo just beating that guy away like a rag doll. A great job. He's an awful big guy to try to block.
O'Connell is on to punt once again. Averaging 39 yards a punt this afternoon. Brandis Bell back, waiting for the return. This is a real nice high spiraling kick by O'Connell, and Bell from the 19-yard line looks for room and loses his own footing. Penalty marker comes down on the play.
Looks like most definitely a clip against West Virginia.
We've got a penalty marker back down near the return and a penalty marker upfield where the ball was kicked. So we'll have 2 penalties on the play. 10 minutes and 54 seconds to go. And the officials sorting things out as Craig Taylor talks things over on the sideline.
We saw a few ex-Mountaineers here in New Jersey, Tony. Last night we spent some time with old Mountaineer Jim Merritt's defensive lineman for West Virginia.
A pair of penalties go against the Mountaineers. Initial spot of the ball on the 22-yard line. And they'll march it off here.
Right there was our clip. Number 23, Darren Fulton, just getting his head across a little bit.
And add to that a face mask. So Greg Jones is coming into the game for the Mountaineers, and he will not have the great field position that Major Harris has been working with all afternoon. They're going to have a repunt. And they'll do it all over again. On the face mask, that's a 15-yarder and a first down. And so Rutgers will really benefit from the double penalties. So the Mountaineer defense will have to come back onto the field. They'll spot the ball up on the 48-yard line. Automatic first down on that 15-yard penalty. Don Nealon pleads his case, but to no avail. Rutgers retakes the football. And it's Mike Body on first down. Ahead for a couple of yards on the play. Pat Marlette in at one of the tackle positions makes the stop on Body. Number 31, Mike Body. Converted tailback. Had started his career as a tailback here at Rutgers. Moved over to fullback in the spring. 74 yards, leading ground gainer for the Knights here today.
Doesn't have that great speed, but he's a good inside tackle-to-tackle runner.
Second down. Tom Tarver looks for his first pass completion. Nice throw over there to Eric Young, but he could not hold on. Again, drop of the game, John, by the Knights.
I think, again, great job by Ronaldo Turnbull. I mean, they just can't block this guy. He just sheds them all away, and he's coming off the field now. Looks like he has a little bit of a stinger.
Give you an idea of what kind of an afternoon it's been for Rutgers. Their leading receiver, Eric Young, who comes into the game with 41 catches, has only one catch this afternoon. Their leading receiver today is their tailback, Mike Body. So you can see it hasn't been a good afternoon for Rutgers. Here comes the pressure by West Virginia. Orlando can't get a hold of Tarver. Herring will take a try, and he's got him. The Mountaineers are coming with everything now. A 5-yard loss on the play. Tarver dragged down.
Again, Bob Shaw holding back, no stops. I mean, he's going to come after you all the way to the bitter end with a strong safety game by Bo Orlando and forcing that thing to bump wide. A great job by Chris Herring.
5th sack of the afternoon by the Mountaineers as Rutgers takes a timeout. 9 minutes and 48 seconds to go here in the ball game. West Virginia leading at 35-13. It will be 4th down and 10 facing the Scarlet Knights. And we'll be back with the final few minutes of today's game coming right up. Fake punt by Rutgers, and West Virginia was waiting for it. Scarlet Knights looking for a bit of a trick. Tried the fake punt. Penalty flag comes back down on Rutgers, and that'll backfire on them. West Virginia will decline the penalty and take over the football. Darren Sellis, normally a cornerback for Rutgers, tried to run the ball on the 4th down fake punt. Well, now we've got a penalty against West Virginia. 12 players on the field for the Mountaineers. And this game has become absolutely sloppy with a capital S. So discount the fake punt by Rutgers. They will get a chance to punt, as those two penalties procedure against Rutgers, and too many men on the field by West Virginia offset one another. West Virginia is looking for the fake again. They do not have anyone back to return, with the exception of the official, Gene Steratore. And they will punt it away. Takes a West Virginia hop, and they should down the football right at the 17-yard line. That's where West Virginia and quarterback Greg Jones will take over.
You know, Tony, it seems kind of silly not to put anybody back there, but really it's pretty smart. I mean, why even put somebody back there to touch the ball and fumble it and have that guy up on the line of scrimmage in case a fake happens?
35 yards on that punt by Matt O'Connell, and here comes Greg Jones. 333 yards in passing for Greg Jones, sophomore out of Miami, Florida. A week ago, threw a touchdown pass in the Cincinnati game to Jamie Lamont. Don't think he'll be doing a whole lot of throwing here. Andre Johnson brings it ahead to the 20-yard line. Pickup of 2, and that'll bring up second down at 8. Glenn Miller makes the stop there on Andre Johnson. 4th carry of the afternoon for Andre. 15 yards. And now Andre Johnson is just 31 yards away from becoming the school's 4th all-time leading rusher.
And what's amazing about that, Tony, is he's been a backup the majority of the time. And to close in on that record as a backup is really an achievement.
Mountaineers have their second-string offensive line in as Rico Tyler spins ahead for a couple more. Doug Kokowski, inside linebacker, number 79, coming over to make the stop. On the 4-yard pickup, that'll bring up 3rd down and 4. Reggie Rembert and Calvin Phillips come out. Jamie Lamont and Grannis Bell are the receivers. West Virginia 7 for 11 in 3rd down conversions. Here's Jones with a chance to pass. Fires a rocket over to Jamie Lamont. On their sideline looking for an interference call, but no flag is down on the play as the official rules that the ball was uncatchable.
Notice the difference between Greg Jones and Major Harris. I mean, Major, he would have took off like right up that field when he saw that big seam. Greg, he's going to sit in that pocket and look for that receiver.
Lance carry on, standing back at the Mountaineer 9-yard line. Ball bounces off of Basil Proctor, hits him off the shoulder, and they'll mark it back near midfield.
I say that's using your head.
Not really. Maybe you should have been looking for the football. So Rutgers will start it off inside West Virginia territory from the 48-yard line. That's where it will be 1st down and 10. If you're wondering where West Virginia, John, is headed for a postseason bowl, we just glance over to the booth next door to ours, and we see the executive director of the Fiesta Bowl, Bruce Skinner, and the president of the team selection committee, Phil Mata, in the booth, along with West Virginia athletic director Fred Schaus and several other members of the support staff for the Mountaineers. So provided the Mountaineers win here, it looks as though West Virginia will be headed to the Fiesta Bowl. Tarver going for it all. He's got Randy Jackson, and Jackson is dragged down at the 4-yard line. Preston Waters on the coverage. Randy Jackson makes the grab, a 44-yard pickup for the Scarlet Knights.
This is a pretty nice throw by Tom Tarver. Really puts a nice zip on the ball. A breakdown into West Virginia coverage there.
Darrell Whitmore comes out of the game. Jim Gray comes in for the Mountaineers. West Virginia will go into their goal line defense. Andre Yates in the backfield. 1st and goal. Here comes Tarver, and they've been waiting for him. Pat Marlette makes the stop. Flag on the play, and we're going to get a face mask against West Virginia. So the great defensive play there by Marlette and Bo Orlando will get called back on a face mask. Let's see if we can pick it up here. Yep, right off the bat. Big old Pat Marlette got so excited there, John, that he said, I got to get a hold of something. I don't want you to get away.
He about tore his head off on that. Well, Pat's a big old guy now. For a 450-pound bench presser as a backup.
Weighs 280 pounds at 6 feet 5 inches tall. So on the penalty, they bring it half the distance, and that's to the 2-yard line. First down and goal. And Rutgers will take a timeout with 7 minutes and 37 seconds to go. Here in the ball game, Rutgers seemingly on their way for a touchdown. They trail in this one by a score of 35-13. You were talking about several of the former Mountaineers in to watch this game, John. We saw Matt Smith, one of the great linebackers in West Virginia history, during halftime. Several other players here to watch today.
Last night we spent some time with Jim Maris, a former defensive lineman during the Gator Bowl and Blue Bonnet Bowl years, Peach Bowl. He presently is working as a safety engineer for the Transit Authority up in Queens.
Take a look at the total yardage. West Virginia has racked up 435 yards of offense here today. They come into the game averaging 495, 194 yards gained by the Rutgers attack. West Virginia has been allowing 283 yards per game, so the Mountaineer defense playing better than their average. Here we go once again. And they'll go to Body. Body looks to get it in, and he does. Mike Body picks up his 5th touchdown of the season, and Rutgers has their first touchdown of the second half, drawing within 16 points of the Mountaineers with 7:33 to go.
Let me ask you a question, Tony. You're the head coach, and you took your first team out. Now the Rutgers are again down by 16 with plenty of time, 7 minutes and 30 seconds. What do?
Well, based upon what I'm seeing down below, Major Harris has got a big stocking cap on his head, and just kind of walking around there talking with the guys. I'd be surprised if Major comes back in, but you never know.
I think what you do is you're exactly right. You'll rely on your defense to pull you through and shut down Rutgers.
And the Knights going for the 2-point conversion. Tarver in trouble, and he will be denied to that goal line. The Mountaineers snuff off Rutgers' 2-point conversion attempt, and the score will hold at 35-19 with 7 minutes and 33 seconds to go here in the ball game. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Head coach Don Nealon, his club on their way to their 10th consecutive victory, leading at 35-19 with 7 minutes and 33 seconds to go here at Giant Stadium. Eugene Napoleon backstepping, awaiting the kickoff from Doug Giesler. Mountaineers expecting the squib kick, and they have brought both lines of their kickoff return inside the 50-yard line on both sides. So the Mountaineers expecting the squib kick. And here it comes. It's loose, out of bounds. And it did not go the necessary yardage, I don't believe. Or they're going to give it over to West Virginia.
That ball has to go 10 yards before that kickoff team can touch it, Tony.
It did, and it's West Virginia's football. Take a look at the Knights scoring drive. 2 plays, 48 yards as Mike Body runs it in from 2 yards away. And great field position here for the Mountaineers. Spotted on the 46.5-yard line. Greg Jones is the quarterback for the Mountaineers. This is his second series. Fullback brings it ahead for a couple yards on the play. West Virginia will be content to kill off the clock here. Eugene Napoleon, Jersey City, New Jersey native, comes into the huddle for West Virginia as Under Johnson goes out. And there's number 29, Rico Tyler. So the Mountaineers have a reserve unit in at quarterback and the tailback and fullback position. 2nd down and 7. Here comes Eugene Napoleon looking to turn the corner. Napoleon over the 45-yard line, down to the 44. We've got an injured Knight on the play. George Bankos holding on to his knee out over the 40-yard line. Been a tough afternoon for Rutgers, John, as far as the injuries go. And it's a tough afternoon there for Reggie Rember. Had a touchdown catch of 48 yards, and he's taken the shoulder pads off for the afternoon. They've got him iced up with a bandage going up top of the neck. Looks to be in some pain over there.
Well, I hope that's not too serious. He's a very important part of this offense.
Trainer's taking a look over there at George Bankos. He's a native of Whitehall, Pennsylvania. He played high school football with the 2 Parker brothers on the West Virginia team, Scott Parker and Chris Parker. And he seems to be okay. Mountaineers will be facing a 3rd down and 6 as we get ready to bring the ball back into play. Mountaineers with their number 1 offensive line out there, with the exception of the center, Kevin Koken. And Greg Jones will take up a timeout. 6 minutes and 54 seconds to go here in the ball game. It's been a very slow and at times sloppy second half of action. Executive producer of the Mountaineer Sports Network is Mike Parsons. Today's game produced by Nick Smith. The associate producer is Alan Hercules, and the director is Doug Gist. Sorry to say, but this is our final delayed broadcast of the 1988 season. West Virginia will be on national television a week from today as they take on the Syracuse Orangemen on ESPN. And then it's on to the bowl game for the Mountaineers, and they'll be picked up by one of the networks in that one as well. And the way things are looking right now, West Virginia will be headed to the Fiesta Bowl.
I'd just like to say, Tony, I've certainly enjoyed working with you this year, and everybody at MSN here has been absolutely fabulous.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun. It's been same here. Here's a look at Greg Jones on 3rd down. He's got his man wide open, but overthrows Calvin Phillips. Wide open was Phillips. And West Virginia will be forced to punt. Jones would definitely like to have that one back again. The way the defense is playing, Jones will have another chance here today. Next week's opponent, the Syracuse Orangemen, will come into Morgantown with an 8-1 record. Syracuse defeating Boston College 45-20 this weekend. Carry on, averaging just 32 yards a punt.
Mountaineer Field will be rocking Saturday night, I guarantee it.
Sure will. A year ago, it was West Virginia that tried to spoil Syracuse's undefeated season. And a year later, it will be Syracuse that will try to spoil the perfect season for West Virginia.
And this week, we're going to win with class against Syracuse also. May add that.
And obviously referring to the crowd coming out of the field.
Right.
Tom Tarver in at quarterback for Rutgers. Scott Ernie had a very poor afternoon. He was yanked out, going 5 of 19. And here comes a reverse play. This is Brett Snyder for Rutgers. Read fairly well by the West Virginia defense as Snyder picks up a yard on the play. Theron Ellis making the stop there on Brett Snyder.
Theron wasn't fooled one bit by all the jitter-jatter that was going on there with the flanker and the halfback and everything else. He just hung right in there at the top of your screen. A real good read, and he makes the play. Notice how he pushed that man down when he was going to attack his legs and keep him away from his legs. That was a good job using his hands.
Here's Tarver Dumping it out to Andre Yates and Bo Orlando, and Chris Herring there to bring him down at the 25-yard line. They'll be a yard short of the first down, and that'll bring up a third down play for Rutgers. Another look at Tom Tarver's pass over to Andre Yates coming out of the backfield.
Chris Herring, just a coach's dream for a middle linebacker. I mean, he's intelligent. He has a great work ethic. He's big. He's strong. He's quick. He gets the football. And like we said earlier in the season, I think he's the best middle linebacker to play to West Virginia in quite some time.
On third down and 1, they go to Vance Hall. He is stopped. Back at the 25-yard line, they will blow the play dead as Vince Hall was met there right at the line of scrimmage, and it looks as though West Virginia has held. Officials will call a timeout. 5:45 to go. Whether they made it or not, John, I'm sure they'll be going for it on fourth down.
I saw Darrell Whitmore giggling there after that play. This is where they really have some fun at the end of the game like this. Well, the Mountaineers looked as though they had him, but a good spot on the play, and Rutgers has a first down. West Virginia 35 and Rutgers 19. Tyrone McQueen and Brett Snyder lining up as receivers to the right. Randy Jackson and Eric Young, double receivers up top. And Tarver on first down. Fires downfield, nearly intercepted by Theron Ellis, who's already got one pickoff here today. Looking there for Eric Young. And Theron Ellis almost had the interception. You know, we just talked about Chris Herring. Here's another middle linebacker that's doing a heck of a job, particularly in man coverage. I mean, he's able to cover those running backs running down the field and those wide receivers. Lockwood made an effort for it. Ellis made an effort for it. Preston Waters back there as well. Second down and 10. Single man to the backfield for Rutgers. Here comes the pressure. And it's Tyrone McQueen making the completion. Alvoyd Mays on the coverage. The thing that's amazing about Theron Ellis is he wasn't even a starter at middle linebacker coming into the season in the summer ball. And he's made that adjustment. And he's been a real big asset in there and really solidified that middle linebacker spot. Freshman linebacker Steve Grant goes into the game for West Virginia along with Jimmy Gray and Pat Marlette on third down and 2. Carver on the roll. Overthrows Brett Snyder, and that'll bring up fourth down. Alvoyd Mays back on the coverage. 4 minutes and 34 seconds to go in the ball game. 4 minutes and 34 seconds away from a 10-0 record for West Virginia for the first time in school history. Rutgers will go for it on fourth down and 2. I mean, that is some amazing achievement, Tony. 10-0. All the things that can happen throughout a football season, that's quite an accomplishment. Rutgers is dropped back. Tarver at the 25-yard line. Chris Parker got him. The 6th sack of the afternoon as Chris Parker takes down Tom Tarver, and West Virginia will take the football over at the 25-yard line. Take another look. Did you notice Chris Parker? He used a rip move where he rips that inside arm through that offensive blocker. That's a technique that a defensive coach Desmond Robinson teaches them, to rip through that thing and get up the field. Well, let's see if the Mountaineers can put any more on the board here. From the 25, they go to Eugene Napoleon. He slices ahead for a couple. Timmy Lester, number 98, makes the stop on Eugene Napoleon, who lives just about 5 to 10 minutes away from Giant Stadium. He'll be back again next season for the Mountaineers. He'll definitely be the front runner for that tailback slot next year. He's been a real hard worker and has been accepted his role as a third-team tailback, and it's pretty hard to swallow.
Charlie Fedorko in motion. And on the toss, Napoleon's got blockers. Eugene Napoleon with a penalty flag coming down on the play is chased out at the 16-yard line. Rico Tyler throwing a good block on the play to break Eugene free, but we're going to have a holding call against West Virginia. Penalty number 8 against the Mountaineers as Dick Anderson looks on. His team about to lose their 4th game of the season. Mountaineer offensive line showing Jack Lynn at one tackle, Milton Redwine at the other. Double tight end formation. 2nd down and 16. And Jones with an opportunity to show us that arm once again. Has the tight end, Adrian Moss, but he cannot hold on. That'll bring up 3rd down and long. Mike Bouchard on the coverage as Greg Jones really shows his rifle there again, John.
Boy, he threw that pill that time. I mean, that thing was like a needle. He almost stuck it right in his chest.
Boom. Adrian Moss, who had just a tremendous afternoon against East Carolina this season, where he made 5 catches, one of them going for a touchdown. Had a catch a week ago against the University of Cincinnati. So on 3rd down and 16, West Virginia sets a single man to the backfield, double receivers up top. And they go with the draw play to Rico Tyler. Good job by the Rutgers defense. They're there waiting as Mike Bouchard trips up Rico Tyler. And Tyler's shaken on the play. He'll limp off of the field. Clock winding down here, John.
Not only are these guys 10-0, Tony, but they're a real class outfit. I mean, when they travel, they're all suit and ties. They do a number of things through Children's Hospital. And those are the little things that make you the great teams.
Mountaineers going forward on 4th down and 12. Jones is in trouble. Intends it over there for Grannis Bell, incomplete, and Rutgers will take over on downs with 3 minutes and 3 seconds to go. Final away game for West Virginia in the regular season. As mentioned, they'll be taking on Syracuse next weekend at the sold-out Mountaineer Field. Fans beginning to file out. We had a good supply of blue and gold here at the Meadowlands this afternoon. Tom Tarver looking to unleash. Dump pass out to Vance Hall, and Hall is down as the knee touches down back at the 23-yard line. Andre Yates, should say.
I wouldn't be surprised this week, Tony, if Don Nealon had his team practice at night all week to get them acclimated to the lights, because it is a difference when that ball's up in those lights and it's dark out. Sometimes it's difficult to catch and get adjusted, so he'll probably be practicing all week under the lights.
Loss of 4 on that play. It's 2nd down and 14. Coming up on the 2-minute mark of the ball game. Tarver has his tight end, Scott Blanche. And Blanche dragged down by Teddy Kester at the 35-yard line.
Being a Syracuse graduate, Tony, where is your heart going to be next week?
In my chest.
And keep your mouth shut, right?
No, in all honesty, I've been in West Virginia longer than I was at Syracuse.
All right.
And so through time, alma mater or not, one's loyalties change.
That's not what you said in the hotel room last night.
Oh, you're going to try to get me in trouble. There's a completion up top That's a first down for the Scarlet Knights as Eric Young makes his second catch of the afternoon. Steve Grant on the coverage for the Mountaineers.
We did have a lot of fun in the hotel room last night with Jack Fleming and his guest and us, and arguing over that wing tee and slot, and they enjoyed that.
We have to explain that. We were watching videotapes of old Rutgers games, and we would pause it on formations and say, Jack, what is this? And Jack would say, well, this is that. And then we'd have Garcia's opinion. And it led to many hours of discussion and philosophy of football. On first down, wide open for the catch. It's Brett Snyder. And the Knights bring the ball down to the 24-yard line. Clock continues to wind down. 1 minute and 13 seconds to go. A wide open Brett Snyder and a missed coverage there by the Mountaineers. I'm sure West Virginia wants to stop Rutgers here. Despite the game's outcome being determined, the pride of the defense, I'm sure, would like to hold Rutgers under 19 points, or at least at 19 points. Procedure penalty against Rutgers, and that will bring the Knights back 5 yards on the play.
This Tom Tarver has looked pretty good since he's been in here. He can really whiz that ball down the field.
Mountaineers bringing in some of their front liners now. Chris Parker, Mike Fox, Robert Pickett all checking in. Here's Tarver, pressure on. He is hit. He's got his man McQueen. And now it's McQueen and Darrell Whitmore. And Whitmore drags him down, and a penalty marker comes down on the play. They'll call a face mask against Darrell Whitmore. Whitmore going up high to drag down Tyrone McQueen, and the official, Gene Steratore, says there was contact with the face mask. Take another one. You don't see it on that one. Had the hand on the back of the helmet, but there was no contact with the face mask.
I think a lot of Mountaineer fans will recognize old Gene, one of the officials there. Did you say he was a basketball official, Tony?
Yeah, I'll say it. Well, he's a retired basketball official. Ball spotted on the 3-yard line. Rutgers looking for some points of pride as Tarver rolls out. Dump pass. And it's a touchdown for the Scarlet Knights. Vince Hall making the touchdown grab. (35-26) is our score with 35 seconds to go. Did he get in there? A 9-point game, and Rutgers will try to make it a 7-point deficit. They're 0 for 1 on 2-point conversions today. Tarver has got his man. Flag is down as the pass goes incomplete. James Cann was the intended receiver. And the marker comes down in the end zone. A holding call against the Mountaineers, and Rutgers will have another crack at it.
It seems in this fourth quarter, Rutgers has just lawed the West Virginia defense to sleep. Those little 10 and 15-yard passes.
They've hung in there all game long. So they'll bring the ball in half the distance, and they'll try it again. A 2-point conversion. Tarver again. Plenty of time. And he's got his man, but it's incomplete. Intended it for Brett Snyder. Off of his hands. The 2-point conversion is no good, and the score holds with 35 seconds to go.
A straight drop back pass, and notice the receiver crossing over the middle just got the finger on it. Nice job by the West Virginia secondary.
35-25, that's the score.
No question that West Virginia can't anticipate an onside kick here. West Virginia will put in their hands team, as it's called. All the receivers up front will line up front.
Elvoyd Mays, Charlie Fedorko, Jamie Lamont, A.B. Brown, Darrell Whitmore, Preston Waters, David Lockwood, Keith Wynn. They're all out there for West Virginia. And they're awaiting the squib kick attempt. This is the closest game West Virginia has been in all season long. Although in all actuality, the game was a much wider margin of victory. The scoreboard shows that it's just a 10-pointer. Ball is loose. Calvin Phillips knocks it out of bounds, and West Virginia has the football back at the 35-yard line with 33 seconds to go.
That's kind of a strange onside kick that time. You notice the kicker kicked the ball to the right, and there was only one Rutgers man there that could have made that play. Everybody else ran to the left side. And what they did is try to trick the West Virginia offensive team in thinking where the ball was going to go.
Just a matter of running down the clock here for West Virginia, and they will go to 10-0 on the season. Who would have thought it?
Oh, there was probably about 90 football players that thought they could do it.
Or hope that they could do it.
That's true.
Jones down on one knee. And the clock continues to wind down. Now a timeout taken by Rutgers.
Dick Anderson has really done a good job with the Rutgers program. They've improved their facilities greatly. They've hung in there. They've beat Michigan State, Penn State. They've come a long way. There's quite a bit of Penn State ties on that Rutgers coaching staff. Ed O'Neill, a former All-American and pro player, coaches for him. Big John Ray.
There he is, number 70 for the Mountaineers. Major Harris had another great afternoon for the Mountaineers with 207 yards of total offense. There's a look at the Major, stocking cap and all.
We're going to promote him to general after this one.
Jones again going down on one knee. Rutgers has another timeout if they decide to use it. Clock down, 15 seconds and winding. And Dick Anderson says that's enough for him. The final seconds tick off the clock as Don Nealon heads across the field to shake hands with Rutgers head coach Dick Anderson. And the West Virginia University Mountaineers are 10-0 on the season. A 35-25 victory over the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. We'll be back to wrap it up.
Next week at Rutgers Stadium.
For the first time in school history, West Virginia University is 10-0 on the football season with one game to go, and that's next week against the Syracuse Orangemen. This afternoon, West Virginia scoring a 35-25 victory over the Rutgers Scarlet Knights in a game that was decided more than the final score indicates. West Virginia racking up the yardage, 441 yards on the game. Andre Johnson, Craig Taylor both having touchdowns on the game. Major Harris finding Reggie Rembert for one score, and the Major running one in for himself. 35-25. That's the final score in this one as Mountaineer fans across the state of West Virginia now start to set their sights on what could be West Virginia's first perfect season as they take on the Syracuse Orangemen 1 week from today. A good defensive effort by Bo Orlando and Chris Parker, who come back into the lineup for West Virginia as they return from injuries. Next up, it's Syracuse, 35-25 for John Garcia. I'm Tony Caridi saying so long to Mountaineer fans everywhere.